know how to do laundry. He did not touch it.
Well, today's class is about fulfillment and post-sell and all those good things. I started the recording, so I see there's a screen up there that says Zach on it. I just see a poster. You guys want to wave to the camera or something? Let us know you're there. I saw a head. Oh, there's the hand.
There we go.
Okay, good morning. They're on the witness protection plan. They don't want us to see what they look like.
Yeah.
So this is where we get to what everybody wants to do. Shake hands, ink the deal, right?
Yeah.
That's the goal of everything. But before we do that,
I have no idea.
wins and losses. Anybody got one they want to share with us? I have a couple, but I'll wait. Any sales activities you had this week that went well, that didn't go well? You don't know how it went?
I'm trying to remember this last week.
I know. I'm getting confused.
I'm going to ask this every week.
Well,
It flew by.
if you include current customer stuff, yeah, I mean, I sold about 40 grand in the server and for a new office customers opening, and they have to do all the.
There's Zach's face. I see Zach. Zach, I can see you there.
So it was a decent week, but it wasn't like I had to go out and sell anybody.
You have to pitch it.
It's the lower left to get the microphone on. I think that. Okay, so you upsold a current client.
They needed it. They needed new stuff. I go through cyclical things every 3 years. We have to take technology. HIPAA comes out. They say you must upgrade your stuff or you can't be HIPAA compliant.
Go ahead.
All I got to do is put a proposal in. It's already a client of mine. They trust me. I already have that built in. So it's like I can make a sale with a current client that I already have.
Oh, that's good. Though. I mean,
Why not do that instead of go out and find time? But a new client? No, I haven't had a new client.
Well, is there a story? Is there a win or a loss in there? I mean, did you use something in this class to make it a win, or do you wish you'd use something to make it better? That's the purpose of this exercise.
I'm trying to find out how to use this in those scenarios. I haven't had hasn't came up where I needed to use it yet. Okay. These are clients that consistently use me. I haven't had to go in and do I don't get competitively bid against on these current clients. I'm sure. So I don't have to do any of these tactics. It's just here's the price.
You're serviceable.
Yeah, here's the price. This is what you need to do when you want to do it because you need to do it. It's HIPAA. It's either you do it or don't. That's like
I unmuted
you. Don't want to be able to
you.
comply, but be able to comply. It's up to you.
Zach, your mic should be on. I unmuted.
You know what I mean, right?
I know exactly what you
Um,
Except
but
I'm trying to what I got to do though. There's nothing that's compliant really there other than paperwork.
it's for me. It's like I don't know how to use this.
Yeah, I heard you.
I'm thinking about this where there's there's new people that I don't know. Whether it's legit things like for me the handiest.
Okay. So, back to my question. Was there a situation where you used something you learned here, or you wish you had?
I'm trying to think of anything, and I can't think of anything at this point.
Okay. Well, let's see if anybody else has one. Zach, anybody? Chris?
What was the question? We had some Wi-Fi difficulties earlier, but we're good now.
Wins and losses. Is there a situation in this last week where you used something here that worked, or you wished you'd use something because it didn't work?
We talked about it. I will hopefully get my first client, or at least hear back from them by the end of this week.
That's good. That's a win.
So I had a lead that I thought was a pretty hot lead last week, and this week she's gone totally cold, and I can't seem to get a hold of her in any way, and have no idea why.
Okay.
Did you set a follow-up appointment?
Well, hold on. You're right. Dwayne is right, but I want to go back before that. When you first talked to her, what was the upfront contract?
So I sent her an email, just saying, hey, this is who we are. I think we might be a good fit. Let me know if we could do anything for you. Okay. And she sent me an email right back within like a couple of hours saying, hey, thanks for reaching out. I do need a product that you guys offer. Here's basically what I need. And I emailed her back saying, great, we've done something very similar before. Here's some pictures of that sample. I'd love to meet with you later this week or next week, anytime at your convenience. And she hasn't responded back to that email, and I've left a couple of voicemails, and nobody seems to be answering the phone. I mean, it's a company voicemail, just kind of odd. I'm not sure if they all went on vacation for a week or what's going on.
Okay.
But
This is great, Zach. Can I tear this apart? Are you okay with that?
yeah, this is Luke, and yeah, I'm more than happy to.
There's a million things here, and I might say something inadvertently that criticizes your technique, but I don't mean anything personally. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I just want your permission before I go, hatchet.
Right.
Email is a good way to get started to contact somebody, and she did respond to you, that's a good sign. But this one wasn't really a prospect yet, was it? It's just somebody who I'd say it's a suspect. Would you say it's more of a suspect than a prospect because you hadn't identified any pain, you hadn't had like your upfront contract with her, you didn't know what her budget was, you don't even know if she's a decision maker. So, and we're going to be getting into those three. Remember the contract, the pain, budget, decision. Those are the three things we want to have always. But I would have said, or did you think about sending an email saying like, this is kind of getting a little complicated for email. I really feel that I would serve you best if I actually talk to you, at least on the phone, if not in person. And then end it with a question. Would you agree with that? Do you think that's a good idea?
Yeah, I probably could have emailed that back, and I mean that was going to be my message with the follow-up phone calls. I've called, I guess, 3 times since last week.
Okay, so first of all, it's only been a week. In the business world, a week is not a long time.
That's kind of what I was thinking. That's why I just left the one voicemail and didn't bombard her with any more emails.
Only one? You said you left a couple.
Well, no, I only left one voicemail, but I've called several times.
Okay. Sandler rule: never leave more than one voicemail. That's good, Zach. When you said you left a couple, I was going to, give you a check mark for that, but you get a plus sign for that because you only leave one voicemail. What's the point of leaving a second voicemail? Either they heard your first one or they didn't. And if they didn't hear your first one, they're not going to hear your second. Have you noticed in today's world how many people actually check their voicemail? Who here checks their voicemail?
On a daily basis.
Yeah, and we're about it.
I actually a copy of all my voicemails goes to my email so I can play from my computer and phone.
Oh, you got that? Is that follow Google phone? I use that.
I don't know. We get it through Spectrum. We just go straight to my email.
All right. So, but I've noticed that, like, I'll call people up and I'll start to leave a message. Go, mailbox for so and so is full.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you heard that? I mean, who?
Yeah.
To me, that baffles me. And I'm like you, Zach. What kind of professional leaves their mailbox full? Yet this one guy, remember Jeff Kearns? This guy I worked with, he owns this huge company. They do millions of dollars worth of payroll business every week. He gets 60 submissions a week for new business. His voicemail is always full. He never checks his voicemail. He told me, don't leave me a voicemail. Either send me an email. Thank you. Send me here for you, Zach. Okay. Go get a water.
I'm talking to Luke right now.
He said send an email or text me. I've noticed that the texting really works good today. So you might send in an email saying, having trouble reaching you by phone. What method would you prefer I communicate with? Would you prefer email, text, and then just leave a big question mark? Give that a try. Good morning, good afternoon. So I found that especially the younger people, they don't read they don't listen to voicemails. They some of them, about half, check their emails. Right? You look at some people's phones. I bet there's no icons up at the top at all. You're probably like,
it drives me crazy. Just seeing that one right here, it drives me crazy. Right now.
go ahead, clear it.
No, it's okay.
Same with me. I've got to clear everything because I'm a firstborn. My parents made all their mistakes with me. So I'm a firstborn. I've got to clear everything. I can't leave anything unread. Even the junk folder, I got to go clear. You know, and yet I see like her phone sometimes, there'll be these red numbers up there all over everything. Like,
Yeah, I can't.
That's funny.
That doesn't bother me.
I had a young person
That's
say,
Facebook.
you know a ton of stuff.
so it's just Facebook. Like, I've got to clear everything on Facebook.
Now I do.
I got to clear everything on Facebook. I can't have any numbers.
I gotta clear it, 'cause who knows what's coming in.
Right.
We drive in her car and her GPS is on. Press here to agree. And once they said, I wanted to see how long I could sit before I had to reach out and push that thing. I lasted about 10 minutes, which that was a record for me.
Yeah, that sounds.
That's how some people are. I'm one of those firstborn high D's. You know, I've got to go make sure everything's in order. Even though my life's not in order, my head is. Okay. But it's in order to me. I know my mess. Okay. She moves piles in the bedroom. My shirts were in that pile, you know? So there are different personalities we're dealing with. So I would say, I'd suggest that email. Say like, having trouble reaching you by phone. I left you a voicemail. You might be like me and not having much access, don't access your voicemail that often. How would you prefer we communicate? And leave it
that's definitely a really good idea. I've had customers in the past that were the same way. You could call their office, you could call their mobile, but for some reason some people are just hooked on text messaging. And they'll answer you at all hours of the day like it's no big deal. But any other form of communication, they're as cold as can be. I mean, I guess that's a great way to kind of show them that you'll do anything for them, is to say, hey, I want to know how you feel most comfortable, and then we can help you out that way.
Angie's over here nodding her head. I guess she checks her email or text messages at midnight, right?
No, I have people texting me at midnight.
Yeah.
And I do too. I'll respond to that too.
I believe,
but not an email.
that's why I leave my phone in another room. I don't bring it in the bedroom with me.
My alarm clock.
See, my strategy.
I'm afraid. I mean, it does worry me that I'm not going to hear, like, probably when Grace goes away and is living in college or something, I'm probably going to have, one of us is going to have our phone in the room. So in case, you know.
If I'm sleeping, I won't hear it.
Yeah.
But if I'm awake, I might as well respond to it.
Yeah.
See, my strategy, if it's a client trying to message me, I don't respond for at least 24 hours, unless it's an emergency, just so they don't think they can get a hold of me at arm's length at a window.
There you go.
Yeah,
You train them.
Yes.
What you do trains your clients, and
Very well put. Right. That's right. We don't want to train.
That's what they're going to expect every time.
It's sort of a trick, but I'm glad I'm doing it. Is I'm telling people, like, if they ask me if I'm available later today, if I really want to meet with them, I'll say, you know what, something just canceled. It's a little bit of a white lie, you know.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I left some time open. But lately, if it's somebody I'm not sure whether I want to talk to them, I'll say, well, let me look at my calendar. How's 2 weeks from now look? Even though next week's wide open.
Sure.
You know, I'll just start booking 2 weeks in advance. I didn't think it would work. Someone told me to give it a try. I'm amazed how it works. And all of a sudden, people are trying to schedule me. They're trying to schedule my time. So you're right. You train your prospects by the way you act. And I'm not quite sure. I'm just doing this as an experiment. I'm not saying do that. You know, this is something I'm just experimenting with. I'm not sure about it yet.
well, no, all that kind of stuff works for me. I'm always the same way. I don't ever try to do. I'm not like, oh, I've got to talk to you right in a second because you called. No, let me see if I have time. I got to see if my schedule permits it. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next day, maybe next week, maybe 2 weeks, whatever. I let them know. I don't want them to constantly be like that.
I'm always saying, answer that. Answer that. Why did you talk to them that way? You know?
So the roles are reversed in our house. I can hear her phone going in the other room. I'm like, you going to get that? She goes, no, it's not important.
Most likely spam. It's
It's
somebody trying to sell something.
It's Discovery Middle School saying buy a
Oh,
t-shirt.
yeah.
If I don't have a name on my phone, so I've sorted it, I don't answer the phone. Well, I will not answer the phone unless it's somebody that's.
He
I know.
dropped Phil's finger.
You know what you'll do now?
Oh no.
You know what you'll do now that I do? Is you'll pick them up and go, and they say, how you doing today? You're going to go, oh, a sales call. I'm taking a sales course. Do you mind if I grade you?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Like today, this guy, we were on our way over here, her phone starts ringing. She goes, Tony, answer it. It's somebody I know. And I answered to some guy selling roofing. So I listen, I go, Would you like to have workers' comp and payroll for your roofers? Do you have a roof? Oh, yeah, I have a roof. Well, we'd like to do your roof. Says, yeah, well, I think we would use the clients we have that are already roofers first, don't you? Well, we might be cheaper. I went, well, why would I go with cheaper for a roof? I think I want the quality roof. I'm not really as concerned much about the price. He goes, well, no, price is important. You know, like, yeah, you've already disqualified yourself. I should have got that guy in class. It was a horrible. That's what I do now. I sort of grade cold calls. I look forward to them. How can I mess with this person?
Yeah.
Small things, small victories. So Zach, send her an email saying, how do you want to communicate?
That was Luke who you were talking to about that.
What?
Say that again.
Luke.
That was Luke who you were talking to about that.
Okay. Well, I thought I saw your face step up there. So you're both there.
Yep, we are.
I can't see either one of you because the way your camera goes, but I know.
Yeah, our camera's got kind of limited flexibility. It's on a tablet basically, so we've got it propped up.
Yeah.
This, I don't know if you can see this thing here. This is what Dwayne has given me. This is this little stand that I put my phone on, and this is sort of the room camera. This is
Nice.
Yeah. Hi, waving.
Well, there's a room camera there on my big screen TV too.
Well, yeah, but I'm getting the whole like.
That's the whole room right there. Top right.
Oh yeah, I guess you can see Denise. You can't see Angie though. She's hiding. Angie's on.
I see me right
You
here.
can't see me.
You're on.
Denise is
Yeah,
really
you're on this one, but you're not on the room camera. Anyway, I like having the multiple cameras. It's just
Oh, I don't want the one just on me.
it's okay. All right.
Put it on Kathleen.
Okay. All right. Angie's in witness protection this week. Okay. So anyone else have a win or a loss they want to bring up for everybody to discuss? Okay, I got one. And it's a lesson to be taught. Is my phone making noises? Well, that's your phone.
I just thought I'd drag my face.
I was emailing.
Are you calling?
No, Dwayne usually sits there. His phone drives me crazy. So you're going to do that this week.
Wait, carrot torch. Keep it going.
I don't get paid enough for this.
So tell us about your win.
So I had a couple clients, two who were referred to me. One found us on our website, and they're a brewery in New Jersey, and they'd heard good things.
Malcolm, call 1243, please. Malcolm, 1243.
Tell Malcolm to pick up the phone, will you? So I called the guy back, and we had this 2-hour discussion on how he's getting his brewery going, and I identified all of these problems he had. Like, yeah, we got a 7-barrel system. I go, well, how many fermenters? It was 2. So how many kegs are you going to make with 2 fermenters? And we got into that. He's going to be swamped the first day he opens up. He's going to run out of beer. So I advise him, you need to get with other people to make beer for you, or buy more fermenters and get brewing, because you're going to run out of beer. His Facebook page already had 1,850 likes.
Oh, wow, that's success.
Yeah, they're going to be swamped the day they open up. That's how much parking you got. Well, we got a little bit of parking. He says, you better find some of the neighbors next door. We're going to let people park in their lot, or you're going to be, you're going to have people running in like, there's no place to park. He's like, I can't believe this is going to happen. I said, okay, don't believe me, but wait. And now, so he starts emailing me back and forth, asking me all these questions. And I made a mistake. What did I do?
Answer right away.
I answered his questions. So I get an email from last week, says, oh, hey, I just saw that you were checked in with me. It went into my spam folder for some reason. Thank you for all your help.
Mm-hmm.
We're deciding to go another direction.
What?
He answered all of his questions.
Whenever somebody starts thanking you, that's a sign. That's a signal. It means that they got what they wanted. So when they say, thanks for your time, we appreciate your time, that's the nice way of saying, you're not getting this one. You lost.
1224, Mike, 1224, please.
I'm a nice person.
Yeah.
Well, when you're dealing with a vendor, though, with someone who's trying to sell you something, and you tell them, hey, thanks for your time, that usually means I'm not buying from you, right? That's a non-buying signal. And the same thing happened. I was referred to this lady who runs a consulting business in Colorado. Back and forth. She says, we need to talk. Please call me. I call her. We have a 2-hour discussion, practically an hour and a half on her business, which is this consulting firm for cannabis farms. So she's telling me about, I need to get the oil, the CBD oil, and I need to put it on my tongue 5 times a day. It'll reduce my inflammation and all this. She's telling me about all the wonders of it. I thank you for all this information. This is great. She goes, and yeah, what do you need from me? She says, well, I need this information. I'll email it to you. Get it right back to me. I didn't get anything back. So I sent out an email saying, hey, I'm still waiting for all this information. Oh, well, yeah, we found a place to get workers' comp here, real cheap in Colorado. Thank you for your time, though. I appreciate it. What did I fail to do there? Anybody?
Enough for a contract.
All right.
That's
I
what
didn't
was
set
gonna
the
say, but I thought you
expectations.
did. You
I-
didn't.
I didn't set the expectations. I should have said, oh, by the way, if you find another solution, well, I did say, do you have anybody else but us? She goes, well, I'm counting on you. All right. What rule would that break? Rule 1, right? All liars, all prospects lie all the time, right? So she wasn't counting on us. She had other people looking. She told me she didn't, but she did. And I said, well, if you find something else, I should have said, well, if you find something else, will you please let me know so I can tell my people to stop working? And I said, would you do that? And she would probably say, well, yeah, I'll do that. At least then, you find out if they're really sociopathic, if they don't call you and tell you and keep your people working. Because I had people working on it. So that's my 2 losses, is that I failed to set the expectations. That doesn't really lead into today's class. Did anybody have one they tried to close this week and it didn't close? Nobody's closing anything.
I have one that I need to close this week, but I haven't closed yet.
Tell us about it.
No. Aw. No, I'm just kidding. So I met with this person last week, and she is 100% on board. However, she needed to go to a doctor's appointment and get permission first, or whatever that people do. And I need to follow up and call her today because I know her doctor's appointments. I just didn't want to pounce on her right after her appointment.
The old backup decision maker routine, huh? 3rd time this week. I don't know if any of you watch Get Smart.
No.
It's a good show to watch.
I know.
There's 2 shows to watch for sales, Get Smart and Columbo.
I watch TV and I forget everything about what I watch 10 minutes after it's over. It's like 2 every time I see it.
Missed it. Another good one to watch is The Mentalist. If you watch reruns of The Mentalist, that's a good show. So in that situation, she said, I need to check with my doctor first. Okay.
And she actually said, I'm good with all the ingredients. I just have to notify my doctor first.
Right. And what did you say?
I said, great. And then I forgot about the upfront contact. When should I call you back? Or would Thursday be okay?
That'd be a good place for time travel, don't you think?
Yeah, yes. I
Okay,
mean, we had
let's-
discussed it all.
Okay, let's say you go to your doctor and the doctor says it's okay. What happens then?
That's what you need to say.
That's what I needed to say. So that's another contract that I should have had.
So let's say the week goes by, you go see your doctor and everything's great. What do we do next?
Right.
At what point should I stop calling you? I've actually said to people, I don't want to keep calling you, texting you. I don't want to be a stalker. Okay, are you going to make me do that? If you don't answer the phone, I'm going to keep calling. If you don't return emails, I'm going to keep emailing. If you don't answer the text, I'll keep texting because I got this open file. So
do I have permission to text you after?
So yeah, you would get permission. How do you want me to do it? Just like with Luke did. How do you want me to communicate with you?
I did
how
ask her that, and via email is her best way.
Okay.
So I will send her.
But she hasn't emailed you.
Not back yet.
Have you?
Not back yet. That's what I said. I need to do my follow up today.
All right. Well, so far that's not a loss yet. Then that's just an unknown.
Yeah.
She knew that the doctor's appointment was a certain day, so she didn't want to communicate with her doctor's appointment. But we should have then asked her
for permission. But yes, I pretty much have the permission. I didn't
Did the doctor's appointment happen already?
Yes.
Oh, it has?
Yes.
Okay.
Yesterday.
That, like I said, and I've just proven I've been learning this stuff for 10 years and I still forget to do that. So
yeah.
Don't beat yourself up if you forget to do it.
But in her situation, like a doctor's appointment, are they running blood tests? Are you waiting on tests to come back, or is it just
waiting on
the doctor to
approval.
verbally say,
Yeah.
okay?
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
all we're waiting, okay, you're waiting for lab
Yes, and
tests.
that's a great point. I've had to wait till lab.
So you can ask that,
Yes.
right? You don't want to be a mind reader. You want to say, okay, when will you know?
Right.
So let's say you go to the doctor, are they going to tell you right then?
Right. Yes, they
Okay.
will, and I got that answer.
And will you call me then?
That's what I didn't get.
Or, well, I'm not saying, I know you didn't do it, but
I wouldn't have thought of it.
so
Yeah.
starting from now, let's see, how should she email it today? Like, hey, I want to apologize to you. I forgot to do something. I forgot to ask you when you wanted to talk again. Like what you should do
Good.
after, and it is totally my fault. I should not have done that. But would you mind if we started over? I guess you've been to your doctor, or did they cancel the appointment on you? If you have been to your doctor, would you let me know? Are we at the next step, or where are we?
Right.
But apologize. Fall on your
Okay.
sword first. That's called falling on your sword, right?
Oh, my sword.
Because you really
So
haven't.
the never let them see you sweat is not a accurate thing.
No, because then that's the okay, I'm okay, you're okay thing. Is that
Yeah, it's
right?
going not okay.
It's going
yeah.
not okay.
Well, it's
When
just
you
being.
let them go, okay.
It's like, hey, I made a mistake. You did, right? You're being open and honest and letting them know, hey, I made a mistake. I should have.
Well,
I should have checked.
you're also giving them the upper hand, but you want them to feel that they're in control and that you're in control, but you want them to feel that they're in control.
And
So when
the
you
trust.
apologize, you disarm them a little bit.
Let's talk about that control bit. I mean, I don't like the word control.
Not control, but
Right.
whatever it is,
But-
is another way to say it.
What we don't want to be is being controlled by somebody else, right? We don't want the client, the prospect, to be controlling us.
Right.
And unfortunately, that's how most traditional sales situations are, aren't they?
What's the word we want to be in then?
We want to be in a mutual agreement.
Okay.
Right? Where we agree who's in control of what. But there's a Sandler rule called no mutual mystification. We want everybody to know what's happening. No mind reading.
Mhm.
Like, this is how it's going to go. And if it doesn't go this way, this is our contingency. So what you don't want to get to a point where the communications break down, like Luke may be, but he may not be. I mean, after this email today, maybe he'll be back he's out of rapport at the moment, right? We want to be in rapport.
Mhm.
And so that's why we put it all up front, and you control your part, I'll control my part. But you're not controlling my part, right?
Mhm.
Fair?
I like how you said that.
Right? I'm going to be in control of my part of the sale. You're not going to con me into giving you a discount if you don't deserve a discount, if there's no reason to give you a discount. You're not going to take all my information and go shop it to another vendor,
Mhm.
which happens how often?
Too long.
I had a girl I'm still working with email me yesterday. This is a company in California, a big company, like 90 employees. And she says, well, I'm not happy with my PEO, but I need you to go shop it for me. I need to find a better price. And the last time I talked to her, she told me, like, yeah, the price is high, but they're not doing a good job. They're making mistakes. No one's communicating with her. She wants to leave. And I said, we'd actually had the conversation. So if I found you something that was the same price, but people actually did the job, would you switch? She said, yes, I would. So, but see, that's, people forget pain too. They bury it. So she's buried her pain. She has forgotten that she was in that pain, that she doesn't like her current vendor. Okay. She's just thinking, well, I got to find something cheaper. And I'm guessing that that's probably pressure from up above, like a CEO or something is telling her, like, hey, we're spending way too much on that. But I've got to have a phone conversation with her. I'm not going to do that via email. I just emailed her back yesterday, said, we can shop for you when it's time to shop. I mean, we have 400 options. But first, let's make sure, it says, I promise you this, I will never put you with somebody that costs you more that does less. I promise you that. And then she had also said that she wants to bring the whole thing in-house and hire an HR director. She's going to pay her $60,000 to be an HR director. And I looked it up. In San Francisco, which is where they are, an HR director, a good one, doesn't make $60,000. They're more like 150. It's very expensive to live out there. 60,000 is like 30,000.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, where
Yeah.
would she possibly live? She'd have to live in the desert somewhere and commute, because 60,000 would not even buy her food. Not in San Fran.
Or
You can't even keep your shoes clean out there.
Oh, you're right.
Immediately.
You are so right.
And she probably wouldn't have a green card.
You just went down the rabbit hole.
Okay. Anybody else got a win or loss before we go any further? Anything involving closing a sale? Hadn't
Or
happened?
not closing it.
Well, or not. Yeah, that's involving the attempt to close it. Have you had
I
any?
have a question.
Sure.
You talked about that, you said something about people burying their pain. The people bury their pain sometimes. Do you bring that back up? Do you call
Absolutely.
them back out? How?
Okay. Well, first of all, what are the 3 rules of pain? Who can remember?
It hurts.
Rule 1, everybody has pain.
Everybody has pain.
Rule 2,
You need to get to the third.
everybody
pain.
wants to get rid of their pain.
Oh,
But rule 3, nobody wants to admit they have it. Right? When I go visit a company, I tell them, I think I showed you the travel agent thing, you know, where I take them from point A to point B. I'm just a travel agent. That's what I do. You're here, you want to be there. I'm going to help you get there. I have to discover from them, I want to find out what point A is, what point B is. What do you think I had the hardest time getting out of them?
What point B is?
B.
Where-
Oh,
Everybody
yeah.
knows where they want to
Nobody
be.
knows where they're at. Yes.
This, nobody will tell you how bad it really is. Sometimes, like, who said that? They don't even know.
They don't know where they're at.
They don't know how bad they are. Right. Sometimes they don't even realize how bad things are. So everyone knows where they want to be. I can tell you guys, ask you, where do you want to be? Every one of you can tell me where you want to be. I want this goal. I want that goal. We've all had goal setting classes. You know, we want to be making 6 figures and blah, 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 right? Or we want our company to have so many clients, etc. They'll share this one with you right away. This is the one where the rule of 3 plus comes in. You got to ask three or more questions, because the first 2 at least are not emotional. Okay. So I'll bring it up. I go, can we review what we first talked? You know, you mentioned you had a problem with that. Is that still a problem? Have you fixed it? Oh, it hasn't been fixed? Okay. Is it any better? No. Oh, it's worse? Tell me about that. And what do we go into? Pain funnel. Anybody remember the pain funnel?
The pain funnel, all the questions.
Yeah.
How long have you had this problem?
That's further down. What's the first
Have you
one?
tried anything to?
Yeah, first one is tell me more. Tell me more about that. And you can say,
How long is this?
yeah, is how long?
Have you tried to fix it?
What have you tried?
Has it?
How did that work? Right? How's this costing you anything? Right? Does this affect you personally? And there's the last one you can grab at the end, which is like, have you given up?
Yeah.
And that one I kind of use as a, am I your last resort? Do you have a backup in case I can't help you? A lot of people hate it when I say that. But I noticed the one thing, that the atmosphere in the room changes a lot. Because you start seeing them go from, he's trying to sell me, to like, what do you mean? This guy's telling me he can't help me. And they kind of go, they lean in a little bit, like, you will be able to help us, right? Don't know. Not sure you're a good match. What happens when that, what just happened there? Have you ever done that? Have you tried that with somebody? Said, I'm not sure we can help you.
Yes, I have.
And what happens to the playing field levels, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Suddenly it's no longer buyer seller anymore. Now it's 2 people trying to look at a problem.
Right.
Wait, I mean, I need your help. So, and that's where you should be, because you only want to help them if you can help them. Why are you going to try to help them? You know, Robert Heinlein had a great quote. If you've ever read any Robert Heinlein, he said, never try to teach a pig to sing. It wastes a lot of time and annoys the pig.
When you were talking about your person that she didn't like her company.
She doesn't like her current vendor.
She doesn't like her current vendor, and you promised her that you would get her somebody that, you promised her you would get somebody that wasn't more expensive and that would do a better job.
What I promised was that I would never put her with somebody who was more expensive that did a worse job.
Okay, that's what I meant. Yeah, okay.
And you realize why I was very careful about that.
Yes.
I didn't want to make her a promise that I was going to find her somebody better. In fact, I spent most of that call pushing her back. Like, well, they're not charging you an unrealistic amount. And
They're
they
just
are
not doing their job.
Well,
Right.
I mean, there is Insperity, okay? Insperity is an expensive company, but they're good. They're like the Mac
But
Daddy
they're
of
not being good
POs.
to her.
Well, she says things have changed there. And I wasn't aware of this, that people are paying less personal attention to their clients there. And that she's not getting personal attention. And I could go down the whole list of pain points, and we developed them all. I got to the point, like, if you don't fix this, what's your boss going to do?
I guess that's my question, is I kind of assumed that she had done the pain points,
Right.
but then she forgot
She
her
forgot
pain
all.
again. So what do you do at that point in time? Do you do that whole pain point thing again?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, you just keep doing it.
I will review them
Okay.
all. I'm going to go through each point. I've got them written down on a pad. I'm going to go, hey, let's talk about this fact that they're really slow at helping you
And
terminate.
you just keep doing
employees.
that.
Is that, no, I'm just going to ask her, is that still a problem? That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
I'm just going to review them. Is that still a problem? And she'll say yes. Okay, has it gotten any better?
So you acknowledge the fact that you've been through these and she's identified these pains.
Well, you know what I do is I'll say, like, hey, I'm just looking at my notes here. Do you mind if I go through these with you? And, like, can we review? You said that this
so
was
you
a
write
problem.
this down.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
When,
write
when
that.
you're talking to people about their pain, you're writing down their pain,
You betcha.
and you're doing it in front of them.
Yes, I asked her, do you mind if I take some notes? Well, I was on the phone with her. And she said, and I did ask her, I said, I'm going to take some notes if that's okay with you. And she was impressed. She said, well, yeah, please take notes. She liked that. Most people like that. When they hear, when they hear you're taking notes, they like that. Like, she's taking notes right now. I'm glad she's taking notes. I mean, she's listening to me.
Right.
Either that or she's writing a love note to her husband. I don't know. If she passes it across the table and I know she's not listening to me. Yes, you should all be definitely taking notes. Now, have you ever walked in and not had a piece of paper or a pen?
I've asked for it.
I have 40,000 of these sitting around my house. I'm a note taker.
Well, try going in without something sometimes. You go like, I really should be taking notes. Gosh, I didn't bring a pen. Do you guys have a pen and a piece of paper? And they will go get you one.
They have.
They do. They will go get you one. Go here, and they'll watch. They'll want to know what you're writing. And you can turn around and show them, and say, is that correct?
Okay.
Do I got that right?
Okay.
And I do that. I'll review the notes with them. I'll even sometimes send it in an email.
Your notes?
I'll review. By the way, we reviewed this thing, this pain, this pain.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That is typical of an interior designer.
Well, yeah.
Interior designer has to take notes and say, I've addressed all these notes. Boo boo. This is what you said. This is what you said. This is what you said. And then you say, here's how I correct it.
And guess what happens if you don't do that?
Yeah, you don't get the job.
And also, they can be upset later when they say, you told me you were going to do this. And you go, no, I got it right here in my notes. This is what I said I was going to do.
Yeah.
I had a meeting, a 5-hour client meeting at their house on Friday.
5 hours.
It drug out a little. We got to talking about everything. Some my fault, some their fault. But I got a contractor up front so they can have a recorded conversation. So I just put my phone out there, recorded the whole 5 hours.
Your phone can record 5 hours?
I just do 30 minutes at a time, and I just keep hitting it.
Oh.
I got home,
Still,
played
that's
it.
a lot of RAM.
We're done.
It don't matter. It's deleted now.
So you played it.
So I got home, played it, and I typed up my notes. Says what you owe me, what I owe you, and what our next appointment is. All contract is sent to them, and our secure documents or whatever. And then that's how I send a follow up document to them. So there's no guesses what it is. So this is everything we talked about. I can extrapolate all the information from the phone or the recording and just send it. What do you owe me, what I owe you, and basically our path forward.
Is that working?
And that was my first time doing it. So,
So we'll see.
We'll see. I thought it was pretty good.
I'm not saying it wouldn't. I like the idea of it, but I want to hear about it. Please share with us next week how that worked.
I will. Tomorrow I have a phone call with them to follow up on it. So,
I like that. Here's what I owe you, and here's what you owe me.
Yeah.
I like that a lot because there is stuff that we owe them, but I never talk about that.
And that's just a simple word document. That's all I do. I just type over it. I mean, I hope it works out well. We'll find out tomorrow. Says where are we at in progress of the email I sent you.
And have the clear future. You got to establish that clear future. I've used that word before, haven't I? Well,
We do have a follow-on appointment, but he gave me permission. I need you to, I'll forget, and I need people to constantly bug me, so I need you to call me on a weekly basis to remind me to do this and remind me why.
Great, you got permission.
You said that, or he said
He
that?
told me that.
He said that.
He's like, I need you to call me every week to remind me because I'll forget.
That's great, and you didn't even have to ask. You got a permission. So and then when you email him, go, hey, I'm looking at our notes. A, B, and C are good. D, E, and F we're still waiting on. What should I do?
Basically, I said, what can I
No,
expect?
you say that. What should I do? Okay, don't say like, when are you gonna get these to me? Find out you can't do that. You can't pressure people, like, when can I expect them? Well, I don't do that now. What should I do is what I say. I make it my problem.
I think I would say, we have an appointment scheduled for May 31st. If I don't have the information they're requested, then we're going to do our appointment.
What's wrong?
There's a lot
I mean, content-wise, I agree with the content.
That's the way I say it. My hammer.
And you're not asking a question.
Okay.
I want you, your business is going to require you. I'm familiar with what you do. You need to have a strong rapport and a strong involvement with your prospects, don't you?
Sure.
Because they need to trust you, right?
I think I developed that over 5 hours. I really do.
Either that or they got entertained for 5 hours. Who knows, right? Or they were lonely. You can't tell. I mean, some people, or else you had nothing else to do. But you're right. If you're there 5 hours, you got to know a lot.
We got to talking. They were showing me their rifles and pistols. I showed them my pistol.
Oh,
Yeah.
We got that deep into it. So.
Yeah.
I'll show you yours if you show me mine.
Yeah.
Is that what- But again, who was your 6-year-old in the room?
Your
Your
inner
6-year-old.
6-year-old.
Your inner
I
child.
know, I did that.
Did you miss that?
Me too.
I was out here. I don't know what the heck I was
All
like.
right,
what
let's-
we
Like
talking
he has no kids.
about? I was like, I got a cat.
Actually, I think Dwayne says that.
You're like, do I have a 6-year-old? Wait.
Was I acting?
He told me to
More
leave my
personal.
6-year-old in the car, and I'm like, that's all my mind was thinking about. Oh my God, who would leave their 6-year-old in
I
the
do
car?
remember
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I think it's more keep it professional. Have the whole time. Don't go personal.
Okay.
I guess.
Parent, adult, child.
Can they? Yeah.
Everybody, I just turn this camera over to it so they can see. Parent, adult, child. Everybody has several little people inside them. We're all civil. Okay. You've got your 2 parents. You've got your critical parent, and you've got your nurturing parent. Okay. Your parents could be both. Both of them could do both roles. But you certainly had a parent that criticized you. You had another one that nurtured you. At least most people did, right? You've got your adult, which is your logical. It's actually the ego, according to Freud. Gloria Steinem picked the wrong one. She meant to say the id, but she took the ego. That was a mistake she made. But so, because the id is the thing that just thinks with its, wants and desires. But that's your logical, non-emotional part. Your child is the part that gets excited. It's really your inner child, the 6-year-old. That's like, oh, this is cool. Look at all the guns. Let's play, right? So
6-year-old again.
when we are dealing with other people, we're dealing with all those people on their side too. So the 70-30 rule is like this. 70% of the time, we are going nurturing parent to their child, okay? 70% of the time. 30%, we're going adult-to-adult logic. How much time does our child talk? None. There's no need for it. And it's not being rude or anything like that. It's because I don't want you guys to get your faces kicked in. I don't want your feelings hurt. I still break this one all the time. I got involved talking to that lady about the cannabis industry. I got interested, and I thought this would be fun just to hear, because I'm excited about what's going on in that industry. That's going to be huge, And I got excited about it. I let my 6-year-old come out, and so it kind of hurts me that she just threw me off like that. Okay, so my heart was broken because I didn't leave my 6-year-old in the car. That's the Sandler rule. Leave your 6-year-old in the car. That's assuming you're driving a car to meet with somebody.
Sure.
But, so that's the parent, adult, child. That's from,
I have a question about that.
that's from transactional analysis is the name of the
I'm
book.
so
You have
glad
a
I'm
question?
emotionally dead inside. I really am.
Once you have them as your clients, can you bring out your child?
It's up to you.
Okay.
Do you care if you lose them as a client?
But what if you didn't lose them as a client, you just became more of a friend type?
I know, but what about in the future? They decide to go somewhere else or they leave. Are you going to be okay with that?
Uh,
I mean,
I think you bring out your
it
child.
depends on which business I'm thinking of.
I'm
Yeah.
100% guilty, okay? I'm emotionally involved with several of my clients, and she knows about
Yeah.
it. I'm going to Sanford Growing today. I love those guys. You know, they're my friends, okay? But they could make a business decision tomorrow and decide to fire me.
Yeah, as long as you have that in your head all the time and you know
And
that.
is that going to hurt?
It would if you didn't expect it.
It's going to hurt no matter what.
If you
It
don't
is,
expect it though,
It would be nice.
it's a shock. Yes, exactly. It's
It would be
less
bad,
pain.
right? So that's why I advise you against getting emotionally attached to your clients.
Right.
It's not because I'm trying to be sneaky
My
or
thing is,
deceptive. It's because I don't want to get my face kicked in.
my thing is if I lose a client, I'm kind of relieved that that part is done, that I can just like move on. I don't technically lose them as friends. I just say, but I haven't really lost it.
If you're one of those people that can compartmentalize it and separate it and still say friends, have at it.
Okay.
I'm not.
I'm not either.
Okay.
I can't.
I have
You
a
can.
very difficult time with that. That's why I have to.
Not always, but yeah.
I've never had an issue with that.
Yeah, see,
I could care less.
he,
I don't really care.
what he's actually saying is he
My
couldn't
personal
care
preference,
less.
I can tell lie.
He is he's a sociopath, so that's okay.
Yeah.
I don't need any more. I don't need any more buddies and friends and pals.
No,
I tell you what.
I mean, it's not to say that.
Bills are getting paid.
Never
It's
hurt
all
my feelings. That's not true.
But one thing, bills get paid.
I it's a tremendous amount of stress. Come on, it's like, wow, that's kind of.
I'm going to review your recordings though. Now, after what you've heard here. So that when you
Oh, I act like a kid a couple times, but I mean, that's after we built up we had a rapport, we got to know each other, they're already clients. I want them, we're all the same age, all of us love Disney, we love movies, we love the country, it was beautiful.
they're a client.
They're current clients. And I was
For
going
you?
for their moved in clients to me.
Oh, okay, excellent.
They're actual clients, and
So you have income from that.
just them, me servicing Disney client. All it was, this was all no income, it's just me servicing.
Well, see, then I would say that's not your client.
Yes, they are. It's my job. It's because as people move around the country within our company, we give them clients that they change advisors to somebody that's close to that. I always have a face-to-face experience.
But don't
So you
you
don't
get the
keep-
trails or something?
What's that?
Don't you get anything for that?
Not for this meeting, no. It's not. It was just me
No,
servicing.
when they pay their,
If they buy a new product or for their, like say they've already got plenty of insurance, if they get long-term care, they create another investment or something, yeah, I might get some commission off that. But other than that, it's just
no,
me
they have
servicing
insurance.
them to achieve their goals.
They have insurance now, so they're paying a premium every month, right?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Because he was involved in the original sale. So he's
So
made-
I'm
original
assuming
sale.
this is a quid pro quo, is that if you have somebody that moves to another place in the country, somebody's gonna take care of that.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. And you keep getting paid.
You get paid on the initial commission,
That's
as far as
it?
I understand. Other than that, then you don't get anything. It's just, that's my understanding. My thing when it comes to money, like I tell companies, I really don't care. Just put money in my bank account. I don't care where it comes from. I'm trusting that they do it right.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I'm in a position where I don't have to count those dollars.
Right.
That's just extra dollars. So
We need to talk about residual income.
That's what I'm all about. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
the voice where I get the residual every month. I love it. I'm at that point now where it's just like, that's why the sales aren't as important. I
Residual
just keep the
money is,
residual.
yeah, totally.
It's,
It's like a retirement plan.
Yes.
I met with an,
Generational sometimes.
and it is, I met with an HR person yesterday, and she was saying, well, why do I want to go into your business? I said, do you get paid every month whether you work or not? She goes, no, I have to go there. And I said, okay. I said, you know, I just came from a breakfast with a client who added 7 employees last week. Guess what? We're making more money. And all I had to do was have breakfast. Actually, I didn't even have to have breakfast with him. He would have had him anyway, right? But of course, we enjoyed having breakfast with Dennis. So, I mean, that's the kind of business that if your business has a place where you can get that in your a model that you can work that into your business, I highly suggest you do. Because remember we did the cash flow quadrant. Remember the ESCI?
Yes.
If you're over there, you're going to have a tough time retiring.
Yeah, you need to be over here.
And I know that a lot of you are too young to think about retiring. I mean, I'm too young to think about
You have
retiring.
to think about it.
Yes.
Guess
you
what?
do.
Is retirement a function of age or money?
Money. You
Well, I
can
guess
retire at any
you got to
age.
be 21, right? You can't really retire before you're 21.
Well, you can.
You can retire at any age.
You retire whenever.
Mary Kate and Ashley.
If my goal is to live in a
They
ditch
retired at
with a
18.
poncho and have, I don't know, a bowl of ramen a day, and that's my goal in life, I can retire at $50 a month.
Would,
Yeah,
It's really what is your goal in life?
would your neighbor be Matt Foley?
I wouldn't have a neighbor, I'd be in a ditch.
lives-
I
but
change
see-
ditches.
But he lives in a van down by the river.
But no, it all depends on your goals when you can retire.
Okay, so that's right. But it is a function of money, right?
Yes.
And,
Right.
and I would say it's a function
Health
of residual income too, right?
Yes.
Because when you retire, you stop working. And you either got to have a whole lot saved up,
Right.
or you got to have some sort of thing that keeps paying you when you're not working. Okay, that's not a Sandler thing. Now we're getting into my Matt Foley motivational speaker routine, which I'll save for another day.
I did like
Because I can do them.
Don't break the
Yeah. Here's you. Here's Matt.
that. All of the way like that.
So reviewing the sub. Just we haven't done this in a while, so I want to go through each compartment. Now, the first compartment, believe it or not, Sandler's first compartment was pain when he first made this up. There were only 5 compartments. I'm talking about David Sandler. If you haven't listened to any of the MP3s, and I hope you have, they're on the PEOSalesTraining.com website, right? There are MP3s. You can actually listen to David Sandler. You have to say PEOSalesTraining.com/MP3. It's not a public link. You have to actually go to it manually. But when he first made the sub, it was pain, money, decision, presentation, post-sell. And upfront contract was in the beginning and end of each compartment. And bonding and rapport was the sea in which the sub swam in, or
That's cool.
okay. So bonding and rapport, the reason we put it first is because it is something you want to try to establish right away. You want to establish rapport and bonding with the person you're talking to. Upfront contracts are a great way to do that. We talked about that. You make that, you get the time, the agenda, the outcome, know is okay. It lowers the wall. It sort of levels the playing field. It establishes a little more rapport. That's the whole thing that those two compartments are about, is establishing rapport and leveling the playing field to make it where it's not just someone selling and someone buying, okay? And then we reviewed pain. You should, if you don't have a copy of the pain funnel, email me. I'll just send it to you. But if you just Google Sandler pain funnel, it comes right up. The budget, we talked about budget. Last week we talked about figuring out who the decision makers are. And so I want to cover the last 2 compartments today, fulfillment and post-sell. But before I do that, I want to review the 3 we just did. Why do we need those 3? What can you do without pain? Make friends. Talk for 5 hours. Show each other your guns.
What? You got a problem with that? That was awesome.
I'm just picking.
I enjoyed it.
Was there any pain?
For them, yes, there actually was. I had a talk. They were about to jump off a cliff. They wanted to cash in a lot of their investors to pay off something really small that they were that was going to be paid off anyway in 4 months. And
Right.
I mean,
Right.
I don't want to talk about details, but he's like, "Oh my, right now we're not being able to enjoy our life for the next 4 months. We're not eating out. We're eating at home now." I was like, "Calm down."
Yeah.
We went through all kinds of behaviors and stuff, buying grocery store food and eating it instead of Chick-fil-A, all that good stuff. But,
So you.
and he's like, "Yes, I fixed your pain right there. You're welcome."
Why are you doing that?
Because I'm servicing the client.
Okay. It's not your job to fix the pain.
My job to adjust their behavior so they can fix their own.
Is it?
To a point.
Is that in your job description?
My job is to make them comfortable in their current situation so they reach their goals every time.
On the first call?
Yeah, so you're like a.
Huh?
day
They're
one.
already clients.
Okay,
So it's
I
just,
guess so.
they're already clients. So
Might
it's
be different there. It's not our job on the first call. We
No.
don't fix pain.
not the first one. I got that tomorrow.
Who can fix pain?
They have. What do you mean?
Well,
they can fix
It's a
pain?
team effort.
Yeah.
We got to work together to fix pain. We can't just go in and fix people's pain. They have to be willing to have their pain fixed. They first have to admit they have it.
But he's
Right.
showing them solutions to get to fixing the pain.
This is a separate
Different.
situation because it's a
Different.
current client. He can't really lose anything here.
Right.
But how many of you, and I bet you Dwayne's done this, although not the last 10 years, how many of you have walked in, sat down with somebody, saw what was wrong, showed them how to fix it? And they said, thank
Already
you.
done it.
They said, thank you, and never talked to you again.
Yeah, same here.
Right?
Yeah. Intentionally,
Okay.
yeah.
Long time ago, I did that.
So what rule is that? What rule did we break there?
Not getting enough front contract.
No. Well, yeah, but no free consulting.
No free.
Oh, yeah. Years ago, didn't know anything about not doing that. We're talking like many years ago.
Mistake
Many
made,
years
done,
ago.
check the box, and then move on.
You'll
Hard
also
habit to break.
you'll hear that no spilling your candy in the lobby.
We always say, don't give away the cookie.
Why you're not there to give solutions the first call. You're there to get information. And they are there to share with you if they're willing, and that's the hard part. We have to establish rapport to make sure they're willing.
I think Zach was trying to say something.
I heard somebody talking.
Were you guys talking to us or each other?
No, there's nothing here.
Okay.
Okay.
It must have been somebody in the office next door. Okay, so our job is to get information, find out what's wrong. Do we fix it?
Not then.
No, right? We give them hope that we might be able to fix it. Do we say like, oh, I can fix that? Really? What are they going to say then? What's the next word that will come out of their mouth?
Ow.
Yes. And then what are you going to, then you're
You have to
stuck.
spill the beans.
Then you got to tell them how you're going to fix it.
Mhm.
Well, what I've learned.
They get a free education then.
That's
Yes.
right. That's exactly right. And
What did
that's
they say?
we're- free education.
What
Oh,
I've learned is we don't have, this is not the time or place to talk about that, but let's find a set of time and place that we can talk about.
Or but that's sort of, if that's your style. My style would be like, I don't know.
If you catch yourself in that little.
Too early to tell.
Same thing, two different.
You know, there's some possibilities. I still need to do some research. I got to go back, put all your stuff in the system. I've got to find out if I've got the right solution. I got to find out, see if it meets your budget. And then once we fixed pain for $1, then we got to say, who's gonna make the decision? Okay, it's you three or you six are gonna make the decision. So we fix all this pain for this money. You're all here. What's my big clothesline? You want to know what my big closing line is?
What's the next step? What should we do now?
What do you want to do?
What should we do?
That's my real hard sell close. What should we do?
I need to use that line more often.
what do you
should
want
we
to do?
What do you want to do? 'Cause I try to say, so let's have an appointment. How about we get together instead of, I try to ask them that question. I don't think that works as effectively.
That's not a
as
question though. So you're saying, so let's set up an appointment. You said that you want to set up an appointment? Change it to a question. If you guys learn one thing out of this class,
Ask questions.
will you please, can you do that for me? Will you ask questions?
So turn
better.
statements into questions.
Can you turn statements into questions?
Sure.
Yeah, you just.
Have I said anything recently that's a statement? She's
Exactly.
smiling. She sees me
I
doing
know,
it.
I see it too.
Okay,
What is it?
so we're confirming the close. We go back to our upfront contract. This is what we, Steve, this is what we said we were going to do. We're at that point now, aren't we? Let's go back, review the paint. Is this still an issue? There's still an issue? Okay, this was your budget. Has that changed? Has the budget changed?
Do you say that word to them? We've identified the pain. Do you say that?
Or you fill in the pain.
That's a great question. Do I say pain?
Issues, maybe?
Normally, I'd say 99% of the time, no. I
What
don't
word
use
do
the
you
word
use then?
problem, issue.
Problem or issue? Okay.
Right? Okay, you told me you were having trouble with this. Is it still a problem? Does this still hurt? I'll say that. Is it hurting you?
Oh, okay.
I will say that.
Okay.
I would say, yeah, I would go for me. You have a goal of paying for your children's education. That's still a problem. Is that still a
Okay,
concern, or-
you expressed a concern about paying for your
concern,
child's
that's another good
education.
word.
Yeah,
I like that.
Concern.
there's
Yeah,
a-
I do
Other
too.
concerns?
there's a whole list, and I've got a list at home, I'll email it all to you, of good pain words, and one of them is concern.
I like concern.
You expressed a concern with raising money for your kids' education. Did you fix that? Did you?
Oh, did I fix it?
Yeah, I mean, you'll be the client. Did you fix it?
No.
All right, so is that still an issue?
For sure.
Okay, do we need to review that?
I think we did.
Okay, how much were you hoping to put aside while you're walking down? If you have to walk down the funnel, you do it again. There's another Sandler rule. To speed up the sale, slow down. That's right. In order to speed up, you have to slow down.
In your notes that you're taking with them, do you, obviously you don't write the word pain in your notes if you're sharing your notes with them and letting them see what you're writing down and that kind of stuff. So you would put concern or?
No, someone give me a piece of paper. Oh, here's some beautiful net complete pads.
Yeah.
This says Dwayne Cough here. You can have that one. I'll do something like this, Angie. I'll say poor terminating procedures. And I'll put a number 1 right there. So there's a number 1, like say they're talking about something.
So
poor
you know that
termination.
it's the pain category,
Right.
but you
Right.
don't identify it as a pain category to the customer.
Yeah, I know where I am. You can put, and I'll just put down 1, and then I'll start putting all the notes underneath of that. And then when they get into the next one, okay, this is 2. Is this 2? I'll ask them, this is the second one. Are we done with 1? Before I move on to 2, I want to make sure we're done with 1.
Oh, so you do like a 1 and then an ABC and then maybe a,
Right, and I'll go
Okay,
through them
so
all,
gotta write it
and
down,
I would hope I fill up 4 or 5 pages of this. Because I want to get it down to the point where it's not only quantified,
Yeah.
how much is it costing them,
They can
but
see
how
much
it's,
they had.
Right.
well, they have to give me the numbers. I can't make up the numbers.
right.
And also, I'll go really dummy. You know, you guys know I'm pretty good at numbers. I've always had like a calculator in my head. I've always been able to like multiply big numbers out. I'll intentionally say the wrong number, so they'll correct me.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of a trick, but
Yeah.
I don't want to seem like a know-it-all. I know that intimidates people when I start showing off on the lightning calculator. They don't want to be intimidated by that. But you know, hey, I didn't pick that. You know, that just happened to me. I didn't pick it. So now when they say something like, how much that costs? It's $200 a month. How much is that a year? What, $1,500?
I do use that rule. I'm just thinking out. Yeah.
How much is it?
Well, I can't do that.
What did you say? I'm sorry.
It's
what
$200 a
did-
month. How much is that a year?
Yeah.
Did I know that?
Yes.
Of course I knew that. But I wanted you to say it.
So we
I
do
want
numbers
you,
like that.
Because it's gonna resonate with them more because they said it.
and nobody ever argues with their own numbers. You know, are you comfortable with that number? I'll ask them. Is that real?
Yeah.
Is that a real number?
Mhm.
It's not. Well, what's a real number? Okay, 1,800 a year is real. Okay, we'll go with your number, 1,800. Is that real?
Mhm.
It's more than that. Okay, it's more. Okay, 2,100. Where are we really? Give me the real number, will you, Denise?
Right. I just don't want to tell you anything.
And then we get to what it really costs, and I go, okay, if you don't fix that, is that going to affect you?
Problem? Yeah.
Is it going to bother you? It's not going to bother
But
your
this
boss,
whole
is it?
pain thing is such a huge category.
Oh yeah,
It's a huge, huge, huge category that I never knew.
you're 1 slide ahead of me. Wait. Okay, we're going to get into that. We review the pain, we review the budget, right? We said there was this much money to fix this. Has anything changed? Did you lose some money? Do you have more money coming in? Those are your numbers. Those are your numbers, Kathleen. Are they still your numbers? Okay, good. Everybody here is making decisions. Is there anybody who should be here who's not?
Like,
You said-
if we decide, is anybody gonna be mad?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like we said before, is the CPA going to be a part of this, or have you checked with the doctor?
Right.
The
right,
doctor gave you thumbs up?
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I just want to I'm asking you. This
You're
because
totally
this is your
asking
call.
me.
Being
Mhm.
I don't because we'll stop now if you want to stop, and I've done that a lot of times. So we can stop now if you don't want to go on. What do they always do?
Go on.
Oh no, please come on,
Yeah.
because they want to see how it ends up. They want to see how this ends. I want to see how you're going to fix it. Guess what? They're in for a big disappointment. I'm not going to show them. So I've got all the pain. I got all the budget. I got all the decision makers, and I say, what do I say?
What do we do?
What should we do? What now? What's next? What do you think would be the best way to proceed on this, Dwayne?
Give me a call, and I'll get you involved with the person. I'll give you a check. And let's go move forward.
Okay. And when would that be?
Can you be all of my customers, please?
Wait, no, he hasn't.
$5,000 to get
He
started.
hasn't done it. What's that?
I'll give you a check for $5,000 and you can get started.
Today? Not today.
If it means you get the problem solved sooner, yes, today.
Okay. If I could.
They want to get a check for net complete for $5,000. They're going to start working on IT issues.
Okay.
That's happened to me numerous times. I've got to check right on the spot.
I just want to make sure that you believe this will work. All right. Okay. Because now I'm going to get into the next part.
Okay.
Transition. I'm going to review the upfront contract. We said, no, we agreed that we would do this, and that. Has any of that changed? And I'll give them a chance to change. Is there anything new you want to add to your goals, your objectives? Okay. Is there anything? And here's what's changed with me. If I found out something new. Oh, I did find out something new. This, and that. I'll share it then. Again, at any time, if you want to back out of this, shouldn't we do it now rather than later? Let's save everybody a lot of work. If this isn't going to work, shouldn't we go for the no right now? Shouldn't we just stop? And then we transition to the big one, the post-sell. This is I learned this the hard way many times. I mean, how many times you send somebody away, they're all excited, and then you talk to them a few days later, it's like, we decided to go a different direction. Oh, I found somebody else. Or I talk to my banker. My bank says, I don't want a PEO. We can do our payroll with them, and they'll do it for free. So I do a post-sell now. First thing I do, buyer's remorse is a lot of people make a decision, and then they go home and they think about it, and the next morning they say, why did I do that? So I address that right away. I'll say, Dwayne, I've had people make a decision like this, and then they go home and they think about it, and they sleep on it, and they have a dream about it or whatever. They wake up in the middle of the night with cold sweats, Well, I'm going to get to that in a second. Do I need to be concerned about that? Is that going to happen here? And they'll say, no. Okay. Do I have your word on that? Are you comfortable giving me your word?
That's actually a good line for you.
For me, yeah. My word's on for me. But.
I can see that. We share that. Would you believe there's some people out there that it isn't?
Oh, 100%. I see it every day almost. It drives me crazy.
But still, a lot of people they're going to hesitate when you ask them to give their word. If they're really sure, and you can ask them, we're going to get into some tricks here, but a scale from 1 to 10. 1 meaning this is a waste of your time. 10 means this is what I want. It's going to fix my problems. Where are you? What if they say 9?
Good.
No.
Will it fix the problems?
9's a no.
If you do this.
Everything is a no but a 10?
That's right. If they say 9, they're leaving themselves a back door. They're failing to commit.
What did you say on a scale from 1 to 10?
1 meaning this is a waste of my time. 10 meaning I want to get going. Let's do it. Where are you? And then
if they say anything but 10, it's a no.
You have to ask them. I'm concerned about that. What do we need to do to get to 10? I would say, Angie, what's this? Okay. On a commitment level of 9 out of 10, pick up that $5 bill. You're committed. You're at a 9. Pick up that $5 bill on a commitment level of 9.
Okay.
No, that's it. You get to touch it at 9. You don't get to pick it up. You got to be 10 to pick it up, right?
You would actually do this to a customer?
No, this is a training technique. I would never do this to a customer.
Okay, totally.
That's an Eric trick.
I was gonna see what.
He puts a $100 bill out there, but he's got more money than I do. At least he carries around more. He lets people you should see the people in class. They want to pick that up. He goes, no, you're 9. You get to touch it at 9. You don't get to pick it up unless you're 10. I was. If it had been 100, I'd have been worried. Especially if it had been one of these.
So how do you get them to 10?
I do have a couple millions.
Yeah.
You said, so you're not a 10. How do we get there?
Say, well, I'm concerned. Does that mean if you say 9, that must mean you're 10% not sure. What do we need to do to get to 10? Tell me what you're concerned about. Is one of these pains wrong? I mean, that's pain. One of these problems incorrect? Are these concerns? What do I have wrong? I don't know. And then you go back and find out, well, I just don't know if I have that much money. Okay, well, how much do you have? What number do you want that to be?
I can't do that.
But what do you do when they just continue to be really evasive and they're not giving you concrete answers? What do you do?
Well, what are you feeling at that point? No, I'm asking you, what are you feeling at that point?
I don't really know how to answer that question, which makes me sound evasive, but
Frustrated?
Are you frustrated when they do that? That's the right word I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't you frustrated when they're that way?
And don't you
I've
need to
never-
tell your feelings, right?
I've never done this.
This is a great line. You're going to use this a lot. I get the feeling that this is not as important to you as I'm thinking. Am I wrong? Saying the rule is if you feel it, say it. And you just say, I get the feeling that, and then whatever it is. I was on a strange phone call with this new PEO. I just signed up as a master policy. And they're up in Atlanta. And I called them up and I wanted to tell them about all our brokering systems. And now, forgive me for appearing to be, I'm not, but I'm going to appear to be a little bit racist here. Okay? I'm appearing to be, I'm not. But I could tell by the dialect that these were not white people I was talking to, okay? They just had, and I've studied dialects and everything. I could tell these were affluent, urban Atlanta black people, okay? Which if you've been to Atlanta, there's a lot of affluent, urban black people there. That's where there's a lot of black people in Atlanta, but a lot of them are rich. They all drive Mercedes, and I could tell that's who I was dealing with. And they were like, what's this white dude trying to sell us? I was getting that feeling that they didn't trust me. And so I actually said, you know what? I'm getting the feeling that you don't really think I identify with you here, that you don't trust me. And they started saying, well, we don't know you. Okay. Fair. Mm-hmm. What would you like to know? What would it help you to be a little more trustworthy to me? What would you want me to say here? And then they went off and I went around, I asked each person in the room, you tell me. And they went down a list of things and it was very educational. I was like, oh, okay, I had no idea.
What did they say?
Well, it ended up being nothing about skin color, but they said a lot of things like, well, you're this hotshot, fast-talking guy from Orlando. We don't know who you are or what you do. So that's fair enough. That's the third time today I've been accused of that, and then they all laughed. I just tried to diffuse it with humor, but that's not the point of the story. The point of the story is that I felt there was an elephant in the room. Yeah, I said, I get the feeling there's something going on here, that you're not comfortable talking to me. You don't trust me. What is it? And then they told me. And now I might have been wrong in assuming it was that I was a different culture. But really it was just that they were not used to dealing with people like me. So
Orlando.
Could be that I was, maybe it's my New York accent. I'm told I have a New York accent. No, what do you know?
He's from New York.
I'll take New York and have accents.
Oh yeah, they do. They kind of talk like this all the time. They're like Marissa Tomei. Oh, Vinny, you blend. That's.
Are they the ones that don't pronounce cars?
Yeah,
No, that's.
Right?
Boston.
That's Boston. Yeah.
Car.
Yeah.
But you don't have a strong Boston accent. You have an accent.
I do hear you.
No, I hear the
Now,
accent,
I'm here.
but I didn't.
If
But
you
he
have a
doesn't speak a lot.
if you have a question for me, what do you need to do?
What do you mean?
If you had a question for me, what would you do?
Ask.
I would exit.
Exit.
He does that all the time.
I would exit.
Gotcha.
Would
Now, is that
Is that a
Boston?
Boston thing?
I'm not sure.
That's more of a black thing, isn't it, really? Yeah, and you're not. You're Hispanic, right?
Yeah.
You're- Are you really from? Are you from Dominican?
No, I'm born in Jersey
Okay.
and then was raised in Rhode Island.
But your parents are from where,
Rhode
like
Island.
Santo Domingo or something?
Yeah, from Sandler.
Which is a cool town, by
Well, yeah, but it's pretty bad out there too.
the way. I haven't been there in 20 years, but I used to overnight there when I was an airline pilot. And those were the nicest hotels.
It's nice. It's nice.
If you ever want to do an all-inclusive, go to Dominican.
Yeah, I was out there. in
Yeah,
December.
I know that was
You
the
can't, yeah, you can't go there. I got a chain. You can't go there with a chain. They'll take it.
Oh, you mean while you're wearing it?
Like, well, in the resorts and everything is nice, but everything outside, it's
Oh,
like,
see,
it's
I
like
only-
any other Caribbean. It's
I only
like,
saw the airport
It's
and
really,
resorts.
it's really
Pirates?
bad. No, but it's bad out there.
All right, that's my fault. We went down the rat hole on that one. But, so we prevent buyer's remorse. We prevent vendor vengeance. I was about to close a deal. I was 3 months into Sandler. And I had this PEO that wanted me to take over their workers' comp program. And Greg and Eric sat down with me and said, no, you make sure you deal with vendor vengeance. I go, huh? They have an agent now, right? They go, yeah. He says, well, what do you think that agent's going to do when he finds out they're switching to you? I says, you better address that with them. And I said, well, they're bringing me a check for $5,000. And they said, you don't take that check until you address that.
Judy.
And they kept trying to hand me that check this whole day. They were down here for a day. And this is 2 Orthodox Jews from Long Island. They had the yarmulkes on and everything, nice guys. I enjoyed their company. They're very funny, but they kept, David kept trying to push the check over to me going, and I push it back. Not yet. He goes, why? Well, I'm not sure you're my client yet. He goes, oh no, we want you. I says, I know you want me, but I'm not sure I want you yet. They said, huh? And I got that. They had that look like, what do you mean? I said, well, all right, let's talk. And we're finally in my conference room. They're getting ready to go to the airport and get on the plane. I said, all right, we got to have the big talk. What's the big talk? I said, you've got an agent now. Yeah. So what's he going to do when he hears you're switching over this $600,000 policy to me? Well, I mean, he got a chance to do this. I says, okay, well, how are you going to handle it? He calls you up next week. He goes, what are you switching this guy in Florida for? Oh, well, he said he was going to do this. Yeah, but I could do that. I got all those acts. I can do everything he's doing. Why don't you let me do it? What are you going to say? And they said, well, you didn't do it. And I said, yeah, but I can now. I'll fix it for you. You don't need to go to this guy in Florida. Why are you going to? And they're looking at me going, why are you doing this?
So you totally role play the whole.
I did. I role played the whole thing with him. And they said, why are you doing this? I said, I just want to make sure you're comfortable telling this guy he's fired. I hear my brother's voice. They said, well, we're not going to fire him completely. He's going to still do our general liability. I said, okay, you going to tell him that? And he said, hey, Bob. Hey. My brother Bob sticks his head in there. So, okay, as long as you're comfortable firing him. And they said, yeah, it won't be an issue. Don't worry about it. I says, okay, I'll take that check now. They were like, here, finally. So, okay, sign here. Here's our contract. We're going back. Okay, guys, I'm really glad to be in business with you. And that was 2008, and they're still our client. But 2 weeks later, Ellie calls me up, and that's his name. I don't know what it's short. It's not short for anything. That's just his name, Ellie. It's not Elliot or anything. He calls me up and goes, I just got off the phone with our agent. Yeah. He said everything you said he was going to say. How did you know that? I go, oh, that was easy. His wife says, I just thought what I'd do if you were trying to lead me. He goes, oh, that was amazing. He says, it's amazing that you thought of that. I mean, no one's ever done that with us. I guess it worked because he's still our client, 11 years later. So what does it say? Line 3 there. Or Angie, would you read that for me? Read line 3 for me.
Role play the remorse.
Role play, that's right. There's nothing wrong with role playing with your clients or your prospects, as long as it's done in a sales method, The other stuff, you're on your own. Okay, and also do an upfront contract about what's next. Let's agree what's going to happen next. And what happens if that doesn't happen? What happens if I call you and you don't answer? What should I do? Do you want me to stalk you? Should I go park outside your house and wait for you to come out? I've actually said that.
So hide your shower.
I haven't said that. I haven't said,
You said stop.
okay, let's talk about some losing.
49, Rick Grant, 1249, please.
Hey, by the way, tell Rick to get to work on our health program, will you? Thanks. All right, common causes of losing the sale. First of all, sometimes what they give you is inaccurate. They didn't tell you everything. How do we fix that?
Go to the third page. I don't know.
We review it, right? We go back, what did we do? There, right there. We review the pain, review all the information. You're going to find out you lost the sale because you forgot to review. Forgot to review the pain. All right, or things have changed and they didn't tell you. Whose fault is that? No.
It's both ours.
You didn't ask.
Besides,
You didn't
everything's
ask. No, it's your fault.
No.
We're working on this stuff. It's your fault because you didn't ask. Denise is right. You got to ask, has anything changed? And then you'll still run into this.
It's a really important question.
Number 3, they outright lie to you. This is why I want you to leave your 6-year-old in the car. All right? People still lie to you. What is the 11th commandment? It's okay to lie to a salesperson,
No.
right? It says, what is it? One of the 6 or the 7 says, thou shalt not bear false witness. Well, number 11 says, unless they're a salesperson. Okay? So you have to remember that. That's why you leave your 6-year-old in the car. Okay? Mistakes to avoid, not setting the ground rules up front. We all know about that. We've all failed to make upfront contracts, right? And then here's what you were talking about before, number 2. Rushing the pain step is the big one. I see that all the time. People rush through the pain. I do it. I think, oh, I got pain. I go back later. I go, you know what? I didn't quantify it. I didn't find out how it was going to affect them personally. If it didn't get fixed. So I failed there. And then in failing to identify and engage all decision makers and deal with them all. You want to make sure when you're at this step, which is this compartment 6 and 7 here, you want to make sure if they aren't all there, they've all been dealt with. You got the sign off from all of them, right? That the person's there has the authority to say yes. There's a Sandler rule that came out of this, says never take a no from someone who can't say yes. You want to make sure the person in front of you has the right, has the authority and the responsibility of saying yes. And presenting too soon, also known as premature presentation syndrome. It's a problem we all have. How many times have you presented something, given someone a quote, and then they're gone? Right. And what do you think they did with it?
Take it somewhere else.
Right.
Shot me.
Yeah.
Funny, I don't give quotes at all on meetings. Not until after they've identified the pain and goal before we even talk about money. My fee isn't money. My fee is referrals.
You got to talk about their budget for the money.
Their budget. That's our second meeting. Our first meeting, we don't even talk about.
See, my customers are immediately wanting the number.
I can see that for you.
Yeah.
Immediately wanting the number. And it's very hard to diffuse because I try to do the thing that you say, I don't know yet because there's a lot of, there's a lot of equations that go into that. Like your credit score, and I go into all the things. I need all your documents.
Okay,
I
well,
see all your stuff.
I
I'm
like
not
that.
saying that the right way.
That's a good way to go with it. Say, well, you realize I'm going to have to go into your credit score and all this stuff. Or do you want to just set up some ranges?
Ranges, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what if I told you it was going to be between 3.2 and 3.4%? Or, whatever number it is.
Right.
What if I said it's going to be more than 6, but less than 7? Are we done? Have you already got something better?
So I know what you said before a couple meetings ago, I think I liked was what are you willing to pay? What are you looking to pay?
That's the budget. Yeah.
Yeah. What are you expecting?
What? Yeah.
Their
What,
Before you even get
where do you
Their
want?
range, where
So
do
then
you
you're like,
think-
I don't think we'd be good fit.
I mean, Angie, you're a shopper. You're going to shop for them, right? You're going to say, tell me what you want to spend, and I'll see if I can get it. And I'll let you know if I can. All right? But let's be realistic. You aren't going to get a 2% loan. They just aren't out there, okay? Would you work with me? What is it you want to spend? And if we don't get it to that level, are we done?
My assumption, what I did when I was looking for loans is I'd go online and I try to see what quotes are out, what's out there.
Yeah,
So
And
when
those
I-
are always lower than
so
realistic
when I
numbers.
talk to somebody, then I have a ballpark where I would qualify at. So I would say, this is what I'm looking for. You're like,
You can address that
you're
right
smoking,
away.
you're smoking cannabis, you're smoking crack.
You're
right?
getting this,
Yeah.
but not that way.
No, but
I'm
you
sorry.
can address- yeah,
You say, can we address the online quote syndrome right
Yeah.
now?
that's what
You
I
know,
would do.
would
because
you
I
be
had that
surprised to know that most of those quotes are bogus?
conversation. Right.
That they make them a little low just to draw you in? You
Well,
don't
would you be
think,
surprised to know that those include points? And the,
Right.
what, I can do
Whatever,
that, but I
that's
would have
good.
to charge you points. But I'm gonna be honest about it, and I'm gonna tell you what you're getting. I'm not just gonna throw a number out there and then not tell you what the
Right.
points are that go with that.
would you be okay paying points to get that? Or would you rather I get you a whole loan or whatever your terminology is?
Turn everything into a question. That's what you start
We
saying.
call it
Question.
par.
Yeah.
Say
Okay.
turn everything into a question.
Well,
Just
How do I
say,
do that?
what
are
did
you
you call it?
okay with not knowing every
Would you-
part?
What does PAR stand for?
Like a level.
Par is like, do you play golf?
Yeah.
It's scratch.
Oh, okay, so it's PARR or PAR. Okay, all right, but you want to explain that. Avoid jargon.
Yeah.
You can't.
I mean, that's like an actual mortgage term, par.
But they don't know that.
True.
Yeah.
that's for
You have
you.
to talk on their level.
Yeah, that's for you. That's not for them. Just say, you can explain that. Now I'm going to use it. I want your permission to use this word PAR, and this is what it means. Is it okay? Can I use it?
Yeah.
You know, and if they say no, don't use it. Okay, well, what I'm going to talk is a normal loan. Your typical loan would be like this, but are you looking for a typical loan? You know, I just keep asking questions and get there. You know, where are you? Where do you want me to be? And you get two parties here. You don't want to be like this. You want to be working together, moving towards a solution. And if I'm the person to help you, then let's keep doing it. And if I'm not, let's end it now. Let's find out now if we should be together or not. I mean, is it better to find out front? I'd rather find out up front. And then I wouldn't have to get these thank you for your time emails. I hate getting those. Every time I see somebody thank me, you know, appreciate your time, thank you for your time, I think, just wasted time. Even if it was only one email, I feel, I'm sorry, I know whenever I hit the table, it's loud over there. It shows up on the recording. So.
I'm gonna send John an email later and say thank you.
Yeah.
All right, we are at 11, so let me get to, here's some things to avoid. Number one's for you, Steve, and you, Angie. Okay.
Not gonna happen. I am.
I'm horrible.
Yes, I just received it.
Becoming too friendly too soon.
I just
I've
received
had
a
to learn
text.
to not do that.
I just received a text.
That was from me.
Yes, thank you for your time. You're welcome. Commission breath. Obvious, right? We need to go into what commission
Is that
breath is.
desperation?
That's like, I gotta have this one.
Yeah.
Like, or involving
Yeah,
your
I've learned
needs
not
and
to
not
do that.
theirs. Like, hey, I know you don't want to look at this, but you know, where my company's having a special and my wife's never been to Europe.
Right.
That presenting too soon, show and throw, spray and pray, vomit tour, you know. 70-30 rule, breaking the 70-30 rule, number 4. We have discussed lots of active listening techniques, and mostly that's restating what they've said as a question.
That is so hard.
Don't confront.
That's just a new habit.
If you are confronting someone, and I have told off a prospect before, and I got my needs met. Did I get a commission?
That's it.
No. But I've told that guy off there. You know, that's, but just remember, sales is that rule down at the bottom is a very important one. It's about making a living, not getting your needs met, okay? I talked about the thermometer. I just want to go back to that. It's called the thermometer close. I don't know why. It's a 1 to 10 close, but they'll often refer to it as taking the temperature, okay? 9 is not a yes. Now, it's better than a 3. If you get 3, you're in trouble.
You failed.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, there's obvious.
Right.
You should politely excuse yourself and leave and go to the next appointment. If you get a 6 or 7, well, they're still alive. Anything 5 or higher, they're still interested, but they're not committed. But 9 is not a commitment.
I have a
If I
question.
get a 3, that's your own problem.
What?
If you get a 10, do you right away move forward, or do you say, let's meet again? Or let's wait till you have your doctor appointment and we'll talk again?
Well,
Are you still a 10?
I have had people tell me they were 10 out of 10. Guess what I did?
That's
My child came out.
Yeah,
Now I've learned, and then ended up not closing. So
right.
now
So-
I've learned to say, when you say 10 out of 10, what does that mean?
Right. You're
And then I'll start going negative, and I'll even negative reverse them. They'll say, oh, I'm ready to go. Yeah, but not today. Not today, right? Well, yeah, today. Yeah, but not now. I mean, you couldn't write me a deposit check now, could you? And
what
they say, no, not now. But I mean, like the next time we get together. Okay, why not now? What is it that you need to go check? I must have missed something. It's my mistake. I didn't get all the information.
So you respond based on their answer, like,
I stay negative.
yeah.
So if he's saying if he does get a 10, he actually wants to verify as a 10, he starts asking those questions again.
I wanna-
Yes, that's what I
So
was
it
doing
goes
too,
to
because I
the
wouldn't
negative
believe
side
it.
of things again.
I want a 10.9 out of 10.
Right.
I want an 11 out of 10. I want them to say 10 out of 10 in meeting. Because what do we know about Rule 1?
That was
That
fine.
was live.
All prospects lie all the time,
That's what
right?
I'm saying. So even
Yeah.
if you get a 10,
If that's what he's saying, you need to do. You need to go back to being on the negative side of things again.
Remember the
and that's what
pendulum?
I do.
You need to always stay to that negative side of the pendulum. Even if they're 10 out of 10, you want to say, okay, I almost believe you. If you're
So
in
you-
good rapport, you can say that. But
You can't do it now, right? You can't do it now, right? And then as soon as
not now.
you do the not now, and then you do the why not now? Like,
Right.
No, if
Depends
they
on
say
how-
if they say
Depends on
no,
their
not right
answer.
now, I said, okay, when were you thinking?
Right.
Well, I need to go back and talk to okay, do I need to add them to the list of decision makers?
Right. So
Yeah,
now you're
okay,
still
great.
going back
Now,
and
my
getting-
mistake. I didn't get the complete. Let's put them in. Well, then you deal with that. Like, well, what do you think they'll say? Time travel comes in really good here, Or when they say 10 out of 10, but you don't. Sometimes you believe them. Like, I'm 10 out of 10 here. They're getting their credit card out. They're handing it to me.
Yeah.
Then we'll close the deal.
Yeah.
But there's sometimes you're saying, yeah, I'm 10 out of 10, but I get the feeling you're saying that,
but you
Right.
don't
but it's really 9.9, isn't it?
Mhm.
Well, yeah, there is this one thing. Let's deal with it. Maybe this isn't. Maybe we should stop.
Okay.
Maybe if you're not ready to go ahead, I'm not ready. Do you want me to go ahead when you're not ready?
Right.
And of course, reversing with questions, nurturing, negative questions, and that last one, by the way, you're going to reuse that once in a while. When you come up against a problem and it's one they want you to fix and you don't want to fix it, you say, well, I probably can't fix that. Is it over? If they raise an objection, how many of you overcome objections?
No, they have to.
Who's qualified to overcome objections?
One is
They
prospect.
are-
That's
so
right.
That's where the questions come in, right?
Well, when you say like, I don't know about that one, that's probably going to still be there. That problem will still be there. I don't know if we can fix that one. If we can't fix it, is it over? Because sometimes they just bring up objections just to see, testing you. Well, can I have cash cards? I don't know. If you can't, is it over? Well, it'd be a nice thing to have. Okay, is it a nice thing to have or is it required? You tell me. Because if it's required, I'll make sure we go find somebody with cash cards. If it's not, well, let me know. Give me, give me a 1 to 10. How important is it? Something like that. So those are some of the rules. See, I love that first rule. If you're waiting until the presentation to close the sale, you're putting way too much pressure on the prospect and yourself.
I like that, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're in the presentation step and the sale isn't already closed, you need to back up.
Yeah,
You don't
that's correct.
belong in that step.
Okay.
You should go
Get
back to
all that
Go back to
First.
reviewing the pain.
Okay.
It always, I won't say always, but seems like most of the time it goes back to the pain. That we didn't develop it. I'd say if there's one problem that one failure that every Sandler student I've seen seems to do the most, it's not properly developing pain. And I can say that personally, that's my problem.
Well, pain is huge.
It is.
Pain has so many subcategories. Pain
Yep.
is, wow.
Well,
There's so
you
much
know,
to pain.
you're still going to close deals.
Right.
You know,
But just pain is a lot, and it's important. I never realized how important it was.
I mean, even a blind dog finds a crumb once in a while. I mean, you're going to close deals, but not the pain is. And again, other systems work.
Right.
Dale Carnegie works. Ben Franklin works. Clay Kelly for PEO sales, they work. But the Sandler system, to use it correctly and to stay in the system, you need to make sure you do. That's the one step you should spend the most time on in your learning and practicing.
The vocabulary in this is
You use your own words. Problem, concern.
your words when you're asking all these questions are so much better than my words. I have to go to a whole vocabulary class.
Well, I
now.
wasn't born with them. I just
You gotta
But-
make the word your own. You gotta
Develop
practice it.
them, yeah.
you just have to kind of be, if you're staying emotionally detached, which is one thing I really want you all to do, is be emotionally detached. The words will come to you, and the wrong words will come to you once in a while too, and you're going to blow it. You're going to get kicked out. You're going to fall on your face, but don't take it personally. What are the results of every single sales opportunity we have? There's 4 possible results.
Some will, some won't. So what?
No, well, that's
Like
the attitude. That's a
Yeah.
good one. Some will, some won't. So what next? Right. That's, by the way, that's from Amway.
Oh,
Oh.
That's the Goads. They wrote a song called
You
that.
filtered out.
I've never done Amway.
Some
I
will,
don't know where I got that
Some
from.
won't. So what? Next. There's a little dance they do with it too. I've actually danced with 80,000 guys in the Georgia Dome to that song. So
Oh, gee.
80,000 guys and girls. Yes, it's one of the more embarrassing moments of my professional career.
Were you standing next to him during that?
She wasn't there. for
Oh.
that.
I was BK before Cal.
Did you ever see that? Did you ever see the games? They weren't at any of the ones that you were at, right?
Wait, is it with the K? Yes, with the K.
So, though, there's 4 things we have out of sale. Obviously, the most desirable outcome is yes. 1. Yes, a sale, close, money, whatever it is. Now, what's the second most desirable outcome?
No.
Thank you.
Yes.
No.
Because then you don't waste.
So you're not hung on a hook.
All right.
Like, good, I'm done with you,
Then
go
you
next.
can.
Smoking them.
I'm done with this guy.
Now you gotta keep dripping on
You go, my cousin Vinny.
The amount of time you spend wasting on the nose, you're gonna go tell you know that.
I was
Right?
exhausted.
You go, my cousin Vinny. I'm done with
You
this.
spend so much time on the nose, and you how many yeses did you bypass?
Yes.
I'm sticking with that one now.
So what's-
I hate babies. I'm dripping so much.
What's the next thing?
So yes,
Suppose it's
no.
no, but just for now.
No for now.
I'm not interested now, but I would like to talk to you again in 6 months.
Right. I was always taught it's never a no, so don't get disappointed.
Some of them,
Because it could be a future yes.
you can be sitting with some people and you can make the decision that it's no.
Right. You
Like,
can
I don't
fire
want to,
your
I don't want to work with
That's
these
what I
people.
I had prospects like, not now, in 2 years, yes.
Yes.
Okay,
So
so
I'm,
what's
I'm
that?
ready in 2 years.
Yes,
So
and I
what's that?
told that
She
to
told me that
somebody.
2 weeks ago.
Did you
I
make
told
the
that to
appointment?
Huh?
somebody.
No, I didn't make an appointment. I told her to get on my
Antonio calling line 1.
She's my tailor. She makes my.
Call line 1.
That's that's probably, you should probably put that down as a no.
Yeah.
It's
So
a
if
no for
somebody
now.
says, I can't do it right now because of this and that. However, once I get, like my mom just died, let me get all this done. Whatever,
Right.
and they got something going on because people have lives. Okay, so you say like, well, okay, when do you want to talk again?
So
And they
what do
say,
you call that number 3?
clear future. Okay, number 2 is a clear future. We're going to say, we're going to talk on such and such a date at such and such a time. I'm going to call you or you're going to call me. And if we fail to connect, what do? That's what I'm saying. What's the procedure if we don't connect? Should I just close the file?
This is the contract. Okay.
I'll say that. Should I just close the file? And they'll say, no, don't close the file. I really want to talk to you then, okay? But if I can't get hold of you, send me a text. Okay? Can I have your cell phone? Okay.
Dwayne uses that a lot. Should I close the file? He'll go back and call people he hasn't heard from in a few months that he presented to or whatever, and he'll say, should I close this file?
Oh, so John
Yeah.
told me that a long time ago.
Nobody wants their file closed.
Right. That's why you asked him that.
Yeah.
How
Well,
far back can you do that?
you got to wait. That is, that's another one. That's like negative reversing. You can really abuse the close the file thing.
Right.
If you've got somebody that you've been dealing with though for months and they keep hammering around, you go like, and they keep putting you off, you have to call them and says, or email them. You can say, I've got this file on my desk for you. I've got a bunch, we were going to do this. We were going to do this. We do this. We didn't do this. We were stuck here. Do you want to continue or should I just close the file? It takes guts to do that because those people are on your pipeline, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them are going to, they're going to email you back and say, close the file.
Right. But that's good for you, right? That's the no you've been wanting.
They're off your pipeline.
I know.
Okay. And that's going to hurt some people because then they're going to find out how low their pipeline really is. Because that's what I hate is sometimes I've noticed that when I get commission breath is when my pipeline's low.
Yeah, but in the sense, it's still dragging out the no.
It's self-deception. I agree.
Yeah,
But
because
it's
if
gonna
you
take
keep
guts.
it there, then it's still a no.
Yeah.
I know
So-
that this isn't one of the things, but how do I, if I were to do that with somebody and they tell me, well, I bought a house and I used XYZ mortgage.
People said, I guess I should close your file then.
I guess we're done.
That's a no, right? That one's done.
Right. Keep me in the future.
Well, that's not what I had in mind. Where I was going with that is, okay, that was that particular deal. What about their family and friends? Can I get their family
okay.
and friends?
Now this
What
is
about if they sell their house and they want to move again? Are
this,
they happy with the guy from XYZ Mortgage?
all right. This is 2A. You can look for referrals.
Yes.
By the way, 1A is also ask for referrals.
Can you give me examples of
Yeah.
how to do that?
You know what 3A
Especially
is?
if they didn't go with me.
You guys know what 3A is?
No clue.
I couldn't even guess.
Ask for referrals. And 4A will be too, although I bet you won't. And I'll tell you why when we get to 4. But when is the best time to ask somebody for a referral?
Beginning, middle, and end.
I have an answer.
No, there actually is a best time.
When they think they owe you, right?
Well, that's sort of a networking
Once
thing.
you've done a good job, if I do a good job for you and your family, would you be comfortable referring some of your friends and family and friends?
That's a good
So
question.
yeah.
That's the question I asked.
But it's not uppermost on their mind. When is it most uppermost on their mind? When do they think the most of you?
For me.
Mhm.
When they well, actually before that, when they made the decision to go with you,
Decision-making.
when you've got a yes. In other words, when you know the deal is closed, when you've got the ultimate contract, you got the pain, you got the budget and the decision, and they've said, let's go. Have you guys ever decided to buy something and you write the check? What's the next question you ask? When do I get it? Right? When's it going to get delivered? That moment, you're the most excited, aren't you? That when you just made that buying decision, you just stroked the check or you just gave them the credit card or whatever, that's when you're high, right? You got that buyer's high. That's why you ladies love to go shopping because you get that high, She's not saying anything.
I'm going shopping after this. I want to get high.
I think Kathleen, but you see, that's when you look at them and you say, like Dwayne, I'm glad we decided to do this. It sounds like you're pretty confident we're going to go ahead with this. You feel pretty good about this, right?
Oh, yeah.
Have I treated you okay during this whole procedure?
You would do
That's
it in
fine.
this voice?
I was going to say,
Yeah.
your voice is depressing, and
It
I would
is.
say, oh, I don't know.
No, I'm being very reserved. A
He's leaving his child in the car.
He's being okay, not okay.
little bit. Have I treated you okay during this process? If I mistreated, if I abused your confidence in any way.
Okay. I'm aware.
Would you feel confident in letting someone else know about my services?
Sure.
Yes, I know that.
Can you think of anybody comes to mind? I can only take 5.
Yeah, John over there.
See, that question, what I use is, who are the three most deserving people in your life that deserve to hear the same conversation we just had?
Who do you value the most?
You're qualifying it a little bit too much, maybe, but that's not a bad way.
Who are the 3 most deserving people to hear the same thing you just
Who
heard?
else do you value?
Wait, can you think of anybody who would really benefit from what we do? And give me 5 names, if you would, please. Or you can pick, but don't pick one, because the first one's always crap. You're like, oh, this guy's always in trouble. He needs your help, right? You got to let them think for a minute. Well, now that I think about it, I know this business across the street, they're doing really well. They could probably benefit from, like, who do you know named Bob? Or who do you know that owns a restaurant? Or who do you know that invests in houses? Do you know anybody that invests in houses and would like to develop a relationship with a mortgage broker? Something like that.
But John, why do you do it in such a reserved voice?
His inner child is in the car.
He's leaving his,
Well, that might be my style.
You don't want to be a bull. You want to.
So if the person is on a high and they're excited and they're being 6, you're really going to go way down here with your
You're
voice?
dropping
Is
that high. Like, yeah, I get
I guess
that.
I'm not aware I'm doing that. I'm just being me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
she
you,
and I
yeah.
both were like, whoa, he's a buzzkill.
John's just normally boring. When you look at him.
No, I was thinking at that point where I'd be like, I'm so excited for you.
What?
Yeah. I was thinking of the excited voice. So should we not do the
I'm so
excited voice?
excited for this adventure.
If you do the excited voice, it's because you decided mentally to do the excited voice, that you thought that would be the best thing.
Right. That's what I would think.
Is
Okay?
that not the best thing to do?
I think when you
I
feel
can't
like-
make that decision because I'm not you. That's a personal style thing. One of the things we're talking about here in Sandler is developing your own. You're going to develop your own version of this. I have my own version
Well,
that
one
I
of the
do.
things that I've learned is basically everything that I do is wrong, and I need to change the way I do everything. That's why I'm asking, because
So I guess what he's saying is some of these things are style, and there's no wrong or right.
Right.
Have you sold a mortgage in your life? I guess you didn't do everything wrong.
See, there you go.
Look
even
back.
a blind dog can find a crumb once in a
Yeah,
while.
you found, so the blind dog will find some more crumbs, but you need to look and see why you found that crumb. This is an exercise I think we should also do, Zach and Luke. This might be a little early for you, but you should go back and look at all the clients you have or all you ever had. Like Kathleen was wondering why I was doing this the other day. I was going through all of our sales meeting notes from 15 years ago. And I was looking at all those clients and I went down every one of them. And first of all, I was deciding why'd they go with us, if I could remember. And second, why'd they leave?
Mm-hmm. That's important.
Yeah. And guess what? 56% left because they went out of business.
Oh, bummer.
And I looked at what, and the,
Brad Barrow, 1223, Brad 1223.
and the majority of them were in construction. So that's why I don't focus on construction anymore, because they tend not to last. Okay. So I learned, I did analytics. You should always review your past successes and your past failures. And again, now we're up to lesson number 4. Lesson learned. Okay. If you mess up, if you went in there and tried something new and it didn't work, well, make a note of that. I'm not going to try that again. Or what did I do wrong? That's why and have this when you come in here next Thursday. Come in here and say, guess what? I did this and this, and they did this, and it all went to hell in a handbasket. And then we'll all tear it apart, and it may help you. It may not. Well, we lost them. They had to go, I guess.
Yeah, that would be a hard one to ask referrals.
It may help you, but it will certainly help everybody. All of these going through all your lessons as learners, this is not just for you. I mean, it is for you, but it's for everybody. I want to review the lessons learned with everybody here, so we all start hearing like, oh, okay. And you're going to say, oh, it's never going to happen. But one of these days you're going to be out there, you're going to be in a sales situation, go, wait a minute, this happened to somebody in class. They were right here. Oh, what did they do? And after it happens like 3 or 4 times, oh, I know this now. I remember this in class. Remember we talked about doing that? Here's where I'm going with this. And as you go on and develop that repertoire, that arrow, the quiver of arrows, you're going to have your own Sandler 2.0. You're going to have your Sandler system that you use, that you're going to monitor your results and analyze the data. See, this worked, this didn't. I'm going to keep doing the things that worked. I'm going to change the things that didn't. Okay, that's the goal here. Just a review for today. Upfront contract, review everything. And then now, what does the UC mean after that? Does anybody know what that UC means? It means the ultimate contract. Right? The ultimate contract and the sale is those 3 compartments. And you want a post-sell for buyer's remorse and vendor vengeance. And yeah, role play it. Always stay a little negative. I don't know. See, I couldn't, if I get excited, it doesn't work for me. Because what happens, I
We
get
have that personality, I guess. So when you did that, both of us were like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
We both
I don't
kind of
think he was
jumped up.
probably was purposely doing that.
He
I
was.
just think it's just,
Yeah,
it's just
he was
normal.
just going back
That's
to
just
his.
normal.
Well, I think we both thought that it was like a Sandler sales thing because we were both like, oh, that's so not the way I would have gone with that.
It may be because I wasn't always like, I think I have started to go that way, being more like, okay,
Pushback.
yeah,
You don't want to seem over anxious either sometimes.
you're happy. You know, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to be
But you gotta be
coming
you.
across
Yeah,
the table.
right,
We
you know?
gotta be.
Right. It's over anxious commission breath.
Yeah.
Do they kind of
But
intertwine?
not just.
It can
just
be.
excited.
It
not,
really-
not over.
It depends on how it's perceived.
So could people misperceive our excitement for commission breath?
Sure.
It could. I imagine it has at
I think-
time, but it also probably has been a positive thing. Again, you're going to develop a sense of when it is the right time to do it and when it isn't. And
It's
how are you going to?
reading
And how are you going to
people.
develop that sense?
Practice.
By doing it wrong.
Yeah. Failure.
You're going to
Great
fail,
lesson.
and then you're going to go, that was the wrong time to do that. I'm not going to do that again. So,
Right.
you know, you fail your way to success.
I can catch myself in the moment and say, "Ooh, pull back."
Okay, I have a question about that. I have a lot of extremely really bad habits. So
Welcome to the club.
if I'm in the middle of one of my bad habits and I do catch myself, what the hell do I do at that point in time?
Well, first thing you do is stop talking.
And then
Okay.
you shift.
And they're
So
going
in
to
the
look
middle
at,
of talking, when I catch it, I just shut up.
and they're going to, like I'm sitting here talking about,
I would say, well,
what are you going to do?
let me step back.
I'm being you. Like, so anyway, we're talking about, since I'm really excited about this, you be the client.
What?
Was something wrong?
I just
Are you
realized
okay?
I'm doing something wrong.
There you go.
Just be honest about it.
Can I apologize to you? I am doing something wrong. I totally forgot to ask you about this.
Okay.
How do you feel now?
I think that's good because you're good. I think as a client, you're going to feel really good.
Like, well, this person is opening up. They're not hiding anything from me. I don't feel like I'm being conned, right?
Right.
Everyone's afraid of
So
being
you
conned.
just, you freeze. Completely,
freeze.
totally freeze.
I'll go like, oh,
However you're comfortable.
I've done that for, whoa, I forgot something. And Eric will do this like, oh, wait. You know, I skipped a really important part. I don't know if you're going to forgive me. Can we back up? So in order to speed up the sale, you must
Slow down.
slow down.
Slow down.
Like, wait a minute, we skipped something. Whoa, my bad. I forgot something. Hold on. Forgive me, I screwed up. It's falling on your sword is a very good, positive thing to do because they think, wow, they just admitted they made a mistake. How many people admit they make mistakes?
Not many.
And why don't we do that?
Right.
Ego.
Mm-hmm.
Human nature.
Nobody wants to be wrong, ever.
Right. I just admitted the other day. It took me a day.
You needed a lot of proof, right?
If
I do through that in my business with current clients. 'Cause we have times where there's mistakes that are made because either me or or one of the guys, you know, and I've got to be the guy to say to the customer, hey, you know, we muffed that. We're sorry, we didn't call that person back on time. We didn't catch that before becoming too big of a problem. Blah 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 blah. And you just have to be the bigger. You know, customers really appreciate that.
I like what you just said there. You got to be the bigger man, right?
You can't turn around on them and become combative about it, because they don't want to hear that. Now they hear, yeah, you know what, we do a really good job for our clients, but we're not perfect. We don't want to.
We dropped the ball on you.
But we dropped the ball for that on that one time, but we didn't call that front counter person and get them running as fast as we could have, because the ticket didn't come in. We didn't see the ticket. It might have come in late in the day. No one answered it till Monday. Whatever it is, but
there's three parts. I learned this, by the way, being in a pilots union. I went through a negotiations class for doing contract negotiations, and there's three parts to that. The first you're on to right now is you admit you made a mistake.
Yep.
Right? We all do that. We admit we made a mistake. And second, you get acknowledgement that that's the mistake you made. Right? Yes, that's the mistake you made. You did make that mistake. Okay. And then third, you say, okay, how do we fix it? What are you expecting from us to fix that mistake? And then you get into the negotiations. But so there are three parts. You have to admit you made the mistake, and then they have to acknowledge that that was the mistake you made, because they may think it's something else you did. Oh, I'm sorry, I did this and that. They go, no, that's not what you did. You did this. And they go, oh, you're right. You're right. Okay, now I understand. It's all about putting yourself in the other person's shoes, in their head, and getting in their head and seeing it from their point of view.
That's a really, important part of an existing customer. And that's something I never even really thought about before, is an existing customer when something has been screwed up. What I was talking about with him is if I screw up in the beginning before the person is a customer, the whole freeze thing and all that, but that happens a lot. What you just said is it's an existing customer and there is something that we've done, and
well, I think you can do it in both instances. It's kind of the same in both instances. It's the way you have to actually say it or do it. And the part where you're doing an existing client and you realize you're doing something wrong, like I said, you just got to stop.
Freeze.
Because you don't want to keep going down the wrong path. Because then you waste everybody's time, and especially yours.
Right.
Then you're just going to say, all right, well, I got to stop here and I got to fix this. So you said, let's put brakes on. I forgot to ask you this question. It's my apologies. Let's go back and get this information so we can make sure.
All right, we're in extra innings now.
All right.
This has been good. We've everybody has contributed very well to class today. I think this is the way it should be, right? We're all. I'm pleased. I've learned in today's class, so I'm going to share my lesson learned. I've learned that everybody has their own tonality, right? And mine isn't like everybody else's. And maybe I need to change my tonality. Maybe I need to get a little more excited. Because maybe that's why I'm closing deals, because they don't think I care. I do care. I can be caring without being emotional, right? I can care for the purposes of being professional. I want to be able to do my job right. I do care about doing my job right. But gosh, I hate when I get those emails. Really want to appreciate your time. Thank you for the hard work you did for us that we're not paying you a dime for. That is very frustrating. Anybody else have a lesson learned from today?
I forgot to ask you. That's a good thing to say. I forgot to ask you. I just used it on the landscaper, so
I think
there's something that works.
I think they're reviewing. Because the few meetings I had last year that were those new potential clients, I didn't have any of this information, so that would have been great to know that. And you take those good notes and then make sure you go back and re-ask those questions. So you make sure that you've gotten all the information you can make the decision better.
And does that prevent? That's the one that prevents remorse and everything, right? That prevents remorse when you review the budget.
Yes.
You go through the whole review process again.
Right.
Well, you want to make sure that all of that is in their mind again. Like I told you about that one lady, she's forgotten all the pain. She bled all over me. That's a Sandler term, She showed me a lot of her boo-boos, but she showed me what was bothering her and I actually got quantified emotional pain about it, that she was going to get in trouble if she didn't fix these problems.
So do you find your sales cycle is more 1, 2, 3, 4 attempts to get with them, or now everybody's going to be different? I know this. So in your case, how many times do you have to talk to somebody to go? Is each one of your steps a meeting? The rapport is one meeting. The maybe getting information is meeting 2. The contract, and then a third meeting maybe figure out who the decision makers are, the paying, and the fourth meeting finally getting in front of whoever is closed. Is that how your process is?
That would be very frustrating.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm just curious because I don't know.
I get in some. It really depends. If you're asking about our business,
I'm just curious in yours. I know it's different for everybody here.
I mean, with you, it was one call,
And he knew you.
right?
Those are the ones that I referred to, so it was easy.
What I find interesting about Net Complete was that you had been working with me and networking with me for 10 years, and you didn't know what I did.
Yeah, that's true.
That was a big lesson learned for me, that I'm not doing a good job letting people know what I do.
Yeah. I remember thinking that. I remember leaving lunch and saying, wait, what does John do? Because I didn't fully understand.
I don't think I understand your question.
Well, no, what he's saying is it a 1-call close or is it like a 10-call close?
Yeah, I'm just curious how people, because I'm wondering how you, like for me, how you, if there are different ways you should be structuring that. So there's different compartments of the submarine. There's the report.
You don't need a meeting for each compartment.
No.
No. But then I'm just trying to find what the norm is. I don't know what the norm is in this case. Is there a norm, or there's no norms? It's just whoever it goes. Can all those things be accomplished in one meeting?
Yes.
I don't.
Short answer,
Can they?
yes, they can.
Okay.
I have sat down and with one meeting and walked away with a new
And
client.
this is the brand person you never talked to before.
Yep.
Not even a pre-conversation on the phone.
And what that really means is that we got right to the pain.
And
What's
they
the
were
most?
looking for you.
I hope I have made it clear that there is one compartment that is more important than the other.
What's the pain?
Yes, the pain is the most important compartment. Because without pain, no sale.
So I would always go into the meetings, the few that I have, and go in there with the impression that I was just going to get information and come back later. Never with the impression that I was going to get all the information I needed and have a closed sale at the end of the day. Of course, I didn't know anything about sale at the time, but I just didn't know that's what was the process, or that could even be in the process.
But at the same time, Dwayne, I've got clients, prospects right now that have been dragging on for months, literally months. There's one that started talking to us in November. They wanted to close for 1/1. They couldn't do that, so they wanted to go to 4/1. Now they're talking about 7/1. And now there's all these different things that are coming up, and it's frustrating. But the main problem with that one is that I'm not in control of that one because it's coming from an agent. And the agent doesn't want to hand over the reins to me.
Yeah, so you got to do it with the agent, yeah.
So the agents, and I don't know how they do it. One of his guys came here that first class, Matt. He hasn't come back since, but he needs to be in here. They need to learn how to see. They are some of the worst salespeople I've ever seen in my life for insurance agents. Not what you do, but property and casualty insurance agents. Like, they just sit there and they do whatever the client tells them, and then they only care about one little thing. They just care about this, and and it's all about that. They don't look at the big picture at all. And I have to go through a series where I train them on what it is we can do and what we should do and why it's advantageous to them. But it's not a fast process. It takes years. However, it's worth it because we get like 2 or 3 big clients that basically pay our monthly bills. There's certain clients we have right now that we wouldn't have gotten if it weren't for agents, and those clients, that money, there's one we got from an agent in 2007, still with us.
That's why it's so important to have that great referral network, because you don't have access to all the clients that you want, but there's people that that do.
Mm-hmm.
So how that?
And that was what I was asking him. So if I do go back to somebody and they went with somebody else, to me, I hope it's not dead. To me, I would like to get their next sale or get their family and friends. But if they love the guy that they were with, then
you know what I want you to do? This is sort of a little revenge, but I want you to do this. First of all, I want you to thank them for their time. I want you to say, thank you for the time you spent with me. Can I ask you a question? are you comfortable with the way I treated you? And this is me being you.
Right.
And they'll say, yes. I says, would you feel comfortable sharing me with your friends? You know, do you think, are you confident that I would treat them the way I've treated you? And if they say yes, great. Then who else do you know that's might be in the market for a mortgage? Can you give me, 3 or 4 names? And I would appreciate an introduction to you. Now, we're going to be getting into that in one of the later classes, how we want to be introduced. And we're in extra innings now, we're going to do it, but we're going to cover it again. How do you want to be introduced? You want someone like, hey, she said,
Call Ed.
this is Angie, she sells mortgages. Oh, this is Steve. He'll get you into some military life insurance deal, which is probably totally inaccurate, isn't it?
Very much so.
Very much so. So do you want people to, but I bet you there's people introducing you like
So a technique that I've used and have used, somebody's taught me and used with me, and I've used, I think it's phenomenal when it comes to introductions. I'm glad to share it with you guys. If I'm having a 15 or 20 minute coffee with someone, and I know that person wants to be introduced to a mortgage lady or a CPA or somebody that I know in my network. So what I do is I'll overlap the meetings by 5 minutes. So I'm both
Oh,
ends.
that's clever.
So so I have a meeting with
Wow.
with Angie about mortgage. And I know you want to meet a CPA or somebody who's looking for. So I'll overlap the meeting for 5 minutes. And what'll happen? We'll have our meeting, and they'll come in at the same place for meetings. Oh, I want to introduce you to Angie, CPA. And then y'all meet. So, well, hey, I gotta use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back. I'll leave, and then they're stuck talking to each other. Then I'll come back. Well, thank you for your time. Hopefully, y'all change contact. Now I have a meeting with this person, and then back in that meeting, somebody they wanted to meet would come in. And
I'm gonna remember that next
it's
time.
like an overlap, and then I'll
That's
excuse
brilliant.
myself. It forces them to have a warm introduction, and that's how they.
So next time you schedule a
The
meeting with
thing
me,
about
I'm gonna
that
come
woman-
dressed.
That's how I try to do my warm introductions to help
That's a
my new clients. Well, not so many. School, my academy.
That
And
is
then I've used it once,
excellent.
and it's phenomenal. So
I like that.
it's a one way to
Do
grow
you
your referral network.
let the person know that you strategically did that?
No.
You don't.
You don't have to. I schedule a meeting. They show up, and then
You
hey, I
can't
like.
control when they get there. Maybe they
I will
got
say
there
if they
5
show up
minutes early.
perfect. I found this person that you're looking for a CPA. Boom.
No, she's got about-
about.
Well, question. See, I would be hesitant to tell them you did that, because what if it didn't go well?
Ah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say like, hey, it was a random meeting, and that way, like, if it didn't go, what?
Or they knew you.
So no,
I don't want the blame for that one.
I'll let it go. Yeah, I have a meeting right at the end of our meeting. We have another meeting coming. Yeah, so we can't drag it out. But I schedule it overlapping.
Yeah, you can say,
Then
oh,
you
and by the
figure it
way,
out.
I'd like you to meet them.
Yeah.
You can say that.
I know.
Being a
So-
networker, though, my mind is obviously usually always in the wrong place when it comes to all this stuff. So as I've learned here, being a networker, I always try to go to like meetings and stuff with my hands full. I have this for you. I know you talked a little bit about guilt, kind of guilting them into referrals, but just
That was
letting
a
them know
joke.
that
Gosh, I'm going to help me relive that. I mean,
So what I've done with my
it's not for real. That's not literal.
not, but I didn't mean to go back down that, but
good.
letting them know that you aren't just a taker is where I was going with it. I was using his guilt example, but letting them know that I am a giver. I'm not just a taker. So
But you
do
gave
it.
first.
Well,
You wanna be the one to
He
give
does it
first.
like anonymously without even telling them that he's doing that, which I personally like 10,000 times better than letting the person know that you're doing something, because I don't do something nice for somebody for the recognition. I do it to do something nice. And I really like that. But as a networking standpoint,
I don't see any problem with getting credit for it.
It's not.
I really don't.
You're not network. I have a potential prospect in front of me. I'm talking to, and I know that they're interested based on our initial meeting. That they're interested in meeting an estate lawyer. Somebody knows something about estate. Something they're going through a divorce or whatnot. Say, I know somebody. Would you like to meet them sometime or whatnot? Or I just know they got this issue, and I'm like, okay. Hey, I'll tell this person I got this 30-minute slot on my calendar. Can you fill it for me? Would you like to meet me here for coffee? Overlap those calendars, and now I have this person that I know they need.
It's a perfect time for an introduction.
Great introduction.
You're helping.
That's a good
two
method.
people.
How do you do your email introductions?
Email, I usually only do that for move-in clients. I won't do that for anybody that's. Well, I'll take
Well-
that back. On social media, I do introductions, cold introductions.
Okay, you've gone to Monday lunch,
Yes.
right. And have you introduced anybody at that lunch to somebody in your circle yet?
Jim Alifate from Legal Shield.
Jim's okay. Jim's a good. He's in Angie's business too. He does mortgages too.
Okay. Yes, he
I want to
does.
warn you. He's got. You need to get with him and find out about his hedge fund. Has he still got access to that hedge fund? He has a friend who has a hedge fund that he represents. So he could.
I don't know who this person is.
Jim Alifat. You know.
I know him.
Yeah, he's come to ABC.
He's come to the network event a couple times.
He's not sticking with me. The name's not sticking with me.
Little sort of guy, kind of rotund, but very energetic, very personable.
He's got the New York attitude to him. So.
Yeah.
None of this
I'll
is
make sure.
remotely ringing a
You want to
bell.
know what? I'll give you two an email introduction.
Okay.
And what I'll say is, and this is how I like to be introduced, and I don't know if you guys do this, but I want you to team me up in an interview, in an introduction. Now, what I mean tee up is when you're playing golf, so you mentioned golf day, if you got to hit the ball out of a hole in the rough, is it going to be harder or easier than if you put it up on a tee sitting on the tee? It's going to be a lot easier to hit it if it's sitting up there, right? So I want to be teed up. When you say an interview, I will say to Angie, to Jim, I'd like you to meet Angie. She's a student in my sales class. She's very energetic and honest and has a high degree of ethical, whatever you want me to say. She might be a good candidate for your hedge fund. I don't know if there's anything in common with you two or not, but I would think you two should meet. By the way, I think you have been to her leads group at ABC. You might remember her. Angie, Jim is someone I know. I've referred him a couple of commercial loans. Well, actually, I've referred him one over in Tampa because he had he has an office in Tampa. So he's done a pretty good job. He also has a friend who has a hedge fund. He might be a really good asset for you in the commercial field. See, I would say things to build each of you up. I'd say, this is your introduction.
That's how I do introductions. It's exactly, I tee everything up.
The
I don't even play golf.
the rest of this is up to you. So,
I do it mainly through text because I hate email, and I'll put them both on the text. I've done it on email a couple of times. So-and-so meets so-and-so. They are ABC 123, and then vice versa, and say what I like about each person or what their assets are or whatever, positive, and send it off. And I'll do it in text or I'll do it in email.
I prefer.
I guess my point is you're doing this with no recognition, which is very admirable, and I like it. And I definitely am that kind of a person. But in the networking realm and kind of in the business realm,
1%.
sometimes you kind of need that recognition.
Well, the person knows you did. Like,
Not exactly. He's doing it very anonymously.
The prospect
do
doesn't
it.
know. But,
He's doing it like a half
but
a
the other,
chance.
but the other person.
We're in extra
I'll say,
innings, so I'm ending the
I know
recording
one next to
right
the
now.
estate attorney coming in.
Yeah, I have a meeting. I want to talk to you about what I